Introduction. Consider the story of Mark, a successful engineer who, for years, prided himself on his steady paycheck and robust benefits. He believed he had it all figured out until a new manager arrived, demanding longer hours, questioning every decision, and subtly eroding his autonomy. Mark found himself trapped, not by his work, but by his absolute dependence on that singular income stream. His freedom was a mirage, dependent on the whims of a corporate hierarchy. The frustration built as he realized his stable job had become a golden cage, offering security only as long as he conformed to diminishing terms. Consider how often your decisions are influenced by your paycheck, rather than genuine choice. This scenario highlights a fundamental truth. A stable job, while appearing secure, often offers a false sense of safety. The status quo of job dependency, relying solely on an employer for your financial well-being, inherently limits true freedom. Many professionals discover their earning power is capped, not by their capabilities, but by internal salary bands and political structures. Think of the moment when your highly valuable skills were undervalued within your current role. The first thing to grasp is that real security isn't found in a single employer's promise, but in your ability to generate value independently. Another factor that changes everything is understanding your baseline financial needs. Without this clarity, talk of escape or freedom remains abstract. One shift that accelerates progress is to meticulously identify your essential monthly living expenses. This isn't about budgeting every latte. It's defining the absolute floor required for your survival and peace of mind. This number becomes your personal runway target, the metric that dictates your strategic moves and builds genuine economic leverage. True independence is a calculated journey. Your freedom is non-negotiable. Let's build directly on what we uncovered regarding true security. Relying solely on goals often leads to profound disappointment and ultimately failure. The status quo in most people's professional lives lacks repeatable, consistent actions that genuinely drive progress beyond their current boundaries. Many professionals discover that setting an ambitious financial goal, like increasing their income by 30% or building a substantial investment portfolio, is only the first, often weakest step. Without a defined, daily, and repeatable system to support it, that goal remains aspirational, evaporating under the weight of daily demands. Consider a time when you set a significant career milestone, perhaps a promotion or a new certification. Did you have a concrete, daily routine for acquiring the necessary skills, networking with the right individuals, or dedicating focused study time? The first thing to grasp is that sustained progress isn't about the grandeur of your aspirations, but the consistency of your small, deliberate actions. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their unwavering commitment to the process, not just the outcome. Another factor that changes everything is moving beyond mere intention to engineered habits. Think of the moment when you realized that merely wanting to escape your 9-to-5 wasn't enough. You needed a consistent, practical method for building your runway, whether that's learning a high-value skill for 30 minutes each morning or dedicating an hour each evening to a client acquisition strategy. Take a moment to notice what daily actions you currently repeat without much thought and how they contribute to your present situation. To move forward, identify one clear financial goal, and then, crucially, define one daily action, however small, that directly supports it. This micro-action, performed consistently, becomes the engine of your financial freedom. Intentional systems, not just noble goals, build your future. Systemize your ascent. Now here's where the real shift begins. Implementing robust systems creates predictably consistent financial results, moving you from uncertainty to strategic control. Conversely, a purely reactive approach to financial management is a primary source of chronic stress and missed opportunities. Many professionals discover they spend an inordinate amount of time on repetitive tasks, like paying bills, tracking expenses, or manually moving money between accounts. This consumes valuable mental energy that could otherwise be directed towards higher leverage activities, skill stacking, negotiating for better rates, or actively acquiring new clients. Consider a time when a forgotten bill or an unexpected expense created an immediate scramble. That reactive moment, while seemingly small, fragments your focus and reinforces a scarcity mindset. The first thing to grasp is that your time and mental bandwidth are your most precious resources for building financial freedom. What separates consistent earners and truly independent professionals from those stuck in the reactive cycle is their commitment to automating the mundane. One shift that accelerates progress is to view your finances not as a series of isolated events, but as a machine with interconnected parts. Each automated task is a gear in that machine, working silently in the background, freeing you to operate at a higher strategic level. This isn't just about saving money, it's about creating the mental space to build new income streams or acquire market-valuable skills without the constant drag of administrative overhead. Take a moment to consider which routine financial tasks consistently demand your active thought and effort each month. To begin, list 3 routine financial tasks you could automate this week. This immediate action transforms your financial management from a chore into a reliable, invisible engine of progress. Leverage automation to reclaim your most valuable resource, your focus. Systemize for sovereignty. Moving from theory into practice, we recognize that a truly systematic approach provides undeniably clear financial direction, while ad hoc, impulsive decisions inevitably lead to frustrating financial detours. Many professionals discover they are trapped in undesirable career situations not because they lack skill or ambition, but because they lack a tangible financial buffer, a runway that empowers choice. Think of the moment when a sudden market shift or an unexpected personal expense derailed a carefully considered career pivot simply because the financial foundation was too fragile. The absence of a clear financial system turns every decision into a gamble, breeding anxiety instead of opportunity. The first thing to grasp is that your financial journey isn't a series of isolated transactions, but a directed flow. Another factor that changes everything is giving a specific purpose to your savings. Simply accumulating money without a clear intention allows those funds to be siphoned off for discretionary spending or unforeseen minor emergencies, never truly building the leverage needed for major life shifts. This is where the concept of a dedicated freedom fund becomes powerful. It's not just an emergency fund, it's your strategic reserve, earmarked for the very purpose of creating choice and enabling your career escape or expansion. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their proactive allocation of resources towards strategic independence. They don't just save, they fund their future options. Take a moment to consider the cumulative impact of small, consistent financial direction on your overall life trajectory. Your immediate micro-action is clear. Open a dedicated savings account specifically for your freedom fund. Start with any amount, but give it its own clear identity. This single, deliberate action transforms vague aspiration into tangible progress, providing the literal capital for your future autonomy. Fund your freedom, then seize it. There's a deeper layer worth exploring in how we approach this journey to financial independence. Relying on unstructured learning yields incredibly inconsistent results, creating more confusion than clarity. Many professionals genuinely desire escape from their 9-to-5 or seek significant income growth, but their efforts often resemble a patchwork quilt of advice gathered from various sources. Consider a situation where someone attempts to build a complex skill, like advanced negotiation or client acquisition, by watching random online tutorials and reading isolated blog posts. The enthusiasm is there, but the results are sporadic, inconsistent, and often frustratingly slow. This ad hoc approach, while accessible, rarely yields the consistent, cumulative progress needed for significant financial shifts or career leverage. The first thing to grasp is that information overload without a clear guiding structure creates paralysis, not progress. You need a map, not just a collection of disconnected landmarks. This audiobook provides that proven framework for financial independence, designed to cut through the noise and guide you step by step. What separates consistent earners and those who successfully build their runway from the rest is their deliberate, systematic approach to skill acquisition, financial planning, and income diversification. They follow a clear plan. Take a moment to consider how much time you've spent consuming disconnected advice versus applying a coherent strategy. One shift that accelerates progress is committing to a guided framework that has been road-tested and refined for tangible results, rather than continually searching for the next big tip. Your immediate micro-action is to schedule 15 minutes right now to listen to the next chapter. This systematic progression is your pathway to genuine financial independence and enduring career freedom. Commit to the system. Unlock your future. Chapter 1. The Income Stacking System. Build multiple cash flow machines. Think of Sarah, a highly valued marketing manager for a major tech company. For 15 years, her salary was robust, her benefits excellent. She felt secure, almost invincible. Then, without warning, a massive corporate restructuring swept through her department. Despite her impeccable performance, her entire team was eliminated overnight. The severance was generous, but the shock was profound. Suddenly, her entire financial world, her ability to pay her mortgage, her children's tuition, her lifestyle, hinged entirely on finding another single, equally stable employer. A terrifying realization of just how fragile her perceived security had been. This scenario vividly illustrates that relying on one income stream is inherently risky, creating a significant point of vulnerability in your overall financial and career strategy. Many professionals discover that even in a strong economy, market shifts, technological advancements, or internal corporate politics can devalue their core skills or eliminate their role entirely. Consider a time when a colleague or even you faced an unexpected job change, and the scramble for a new singular paycheck consumed all mental bandwidth. The first thing to grasp is that diversification isn't just for investment portfolios, it's essential for your income. Another factor that changes everything is realizing you likely possess valuable skills right now that can be monetized outside your primary role. This isn't about quitting your job tomorrow. It's about building supplementary cash flow machines that provide a buffer, enhance your earning power, and offer leverage in future negotiations. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their proactive pursuit of multiple income avenues, turning inherent skills or learned expertise into additional revenue streams. Take a moment to consider what dormant skills or interests you possess that could serve a market need. Your immediate micro-action is to brainstorm 3 potential side hustle ideas that align directly with your existing skills, knowledge, or passions. No judgment, just exploration. This exercise isn't just about extra cash. It's about building resilience and opening pathways to true financial freedom. Diversify your income, fortify your future. This insight naturally leads us forward, specifically into the often misunderstood realm of passive income. True passive income, the kind that genuinely liberates your time, fundamentally requires initial, deliberate system building. The prevalent status quo, unfortunately, often expects immediate, effortless income, a misconception that leads to frustration and abandonment. Many professionals discover they chase passive income ideas only to find they demand consistent, active management, eroding their enthusiasm. Consider the vast difference between wanting a rental property and the initial effort of researching, acquiring, and setting up its management system. The effort is not absent, it's strategically front-loaded. The first thing to grasp is that passive does not mean effortless or instant. It signifies that the bulk of the work, the system creation or asset acquisition, is done upfront, allowing for ongoing income with minimal daily intervention. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their patience and willingness to build the underlying assets or robust systems that will eventually generate income without their continuous active involvement. This commitment to the building phase is crucial for long-term career strategy and exit planning. Another factor that changes everything is recognizing that legitimate passive income streams exist within financial markets through vehicles like dividend stocks or real estate investment trusts known as REITs. These aren't get-rich-quick schemes, but structured investments designed to return cash flow to shareholders. They require initial research and capital, becoming assets that work for you. Take a moment to consider what kind of initial effort you're willing to commit today for long-term passive gains. Your practical micro-action today is to research one simple dividend stock or real estate investment trust, a REIT, to understand its basic mechanics and how it generates income. This foundational knowledge is the bedrock of building genuine, sustainable cash flow machines that truly liberate your time. Build assets, then harvest freedom. Let's build directly on what we discussed about establishing assets and turn our focus to your personal capital, your skills. Systematizing your unique skills and knowledge creates immensely valuable active income streams that can often far exceed your traditional salary. Conversely, consistently undervaluing your existing skills and expertise is a major limiter of earning potential and career flexibility. Many professionals discover they possess highly desirable skills they use daily in their corporate roles, yet never consider monetizing these abilities directly for clients or other businesses. Think of the moment you solved a complex problem for your boss that, if offered as a service, would be worth hundreds or thousands to an external client. The first thing to grasp is that every skill you've developed, whether through formal education or practical experience, holds inherent market value. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their ability to identify these valuable skills, package them, and offer them as a service or product. This isn't about acquiring entirely new competencies initially, but recognizing the inherent worth of what you already do well. Another factor that changes everything is understanding that clients pay for solutions to problems, and your skills are the tools to deliver those solutions. This forms the bedrock of building your income stacking strategy. One shift that accelerates progress is moving from an employee mindset of "what will they pay me" to a service provider mindset of "what value can I deliver that someone will pay for." This reframes your relationship with your own expertise, transforming it from a fixed salary component into a flexible, scalable income machine. Take a moment to reflect on your professional life. What tasks do colleagues frequently ask for your help with, or what specific expertise are you consistently relied upon for? Your practical microaction. Identify one specific skill you possess that someone outside your current employer would genuinely pay for. Think tangibly about a problem you solve. This recognition of your inherent market value is the critical first step toward building a diversified, robust income portfolio. Value your skill, then monetize your wisdom. Now here's where the real shift begins, in leveraging your expertise beyond direct service. Digital assets offer unparalleled scalable income opportunities, allowing you to decouple your time directly from your earnings. The current status quo often neglects the immense leverage available online, limiting income potential to hourly rates or fixed salaries. Many professionals discover that their profound knowledge, which benefits a few clients at a time, could easily be packaged and distributed to hundreds or thousands through digital means. Consider a time when you taught a skill repeatedly to different individuals. Each time required your direct involvement. Imagine converting that repeatable teaching into a digital course or an informational product. The first thing to grasp is that your expertise, when systematized into a digital asset, can work for you around the clock, reaching a global audience with minimal additional effort per sale. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their willingness to invest the initial effort into creating an asset, like an ebook, an online course, or even a specialized newsletter that can be sold repeatedly. This strategy is foundational for building true runway and offering genuine exit planning from traditional employment. Another factor that changes everything is the low barrier to entry for establishing an online presence. You don't need venture capital or a massive team to begin sharing your insights. One shift that accelerates progress is understanding that merely sharing your expertise online, even without immediate monetization, builds an audience and establishes authority, which are precursors to scalable income streams. Take a moment to consider what specific area of your expertise you frequently discuss or provide advice on to others. Your practical microaction. Set up a free blog or a dedicated social media profile today, focused on a specific niche interest or area of your expertise. Start simply by sharing valuable insights. This initial digital footprint is the crucial first step in transforming your knowledge into a scalable asset. Build online, scale your influence. With that foundation in place, we now turn our attention to the critical process of transitioning from a 9-to-5 by systematizing your side income. Random, unorganized hustles, while potentially lucrative in the short term, fundamentally lack the longevity and scalability required for true career escape. Many professionals discover they juggle multiple small projects, each demanding individual attention, never quite building momentum or achieving predictable cash flow. Consider a scenario where an individual offers freelance writing or consulting, but each client acquisition is a manual, time-consuming effort, and project delivery lacks a standardized approach. This prevents true growth or the consistent income needed to replace a salary. The first thing to grasp is that a side hustle intended for eventual transition must be treated like a small business from day one, built on repeatable processes. This approach elevates it beyond a mere hobby, transforming it into a reliable income machine for your career strategy and exit planning. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their ability to break down complex business activities, from client outreach to service delivery and invoicing, into manageable, systematized steps. This creates efficiency and consistency, which are non-negotiable for scale. Another factor that changes everything is recognizing that every hour spent on an ad hoc task is an hour not spent building a system that can work independently. One shift that accelerates progress is to stop viewing your side income as merely extra cash and start seeing it as a robust prototype for your future financial independence. Take a moment to consider how much more effective you'd be if your current side efforts were truly systematized. Your immediate micro-action: choose one of your side hustle ideas and define its first 3 specific, actionable steps towards systematization. This deliberate approach transforms sporadic effort into a predictable engine for your escape plan. Systematize your hustle. Secure your freedom. Chapter 2: The Automated Budget. Control your money without thinking. Consider John, a highly successful sales executive who, despite a substantial income, consistently felt stressed about his finances. He'd meticulously track every expense in a spreadsheet for a few weeks, only to fall off the wagon when work got hectic or a new project demanded his full attention. Each month became a reactive scramble, wondering where his money went, always feeling behind. This manual, willpower-dependent approach didn't just cause frustration. It actively prevented him from building the robust financial runway he needed to even consider transitioning away from his demanding job. This narrative highlights a pervasive issue. Manual budgeting, relying purely on discipline, often leads to immense frustration and eventual abandonment. The status quo in personal finance relies heavily on willpower rather than leveraging intelligent systems for consistent money management. Many professionals discover that their analytical skills, so sharp in their career, falter when it comes to the repetitive, often tedious task of tracking every personal dollar. Think of the moments when budgeting felt like another demanding chore after a long workday. The first thing to grasp is that true financial control comes from automating the process, not from brute force tracking. What separates consistent earners and successful runway builders from the rest is their ability to remove the emotional and cognitive load from routine money management. Another factor that changes everything is realizing that modern technology provides powerful, user-friendly tools designed precisely for this purpose. These systems allow you to set your financial intentions once, then let the software do the heavy lifting of tracking and categorizing. Take a moment to notice how much mental energy you currently expend simply trying to remember where your money is going. One shift that accelerates progress is embracing automated budgeting tools. Your immediate micro-action: connect all your bank accounts to a reputable budgeting app like Mint or YNAB today. This single act of automation is the critical first step to regaining control of your finances without constant mental effort. Automate your budget, liberate your mind. Let's build directly on what we uncovered about automating your budget, now shifting our focus to a critical component: automated expense management. Automated expense management is a powerful tool that saves you significant time and, more importantly, prevents the insidious drain of reactive spending, which sabotages nearly all financial goals. Many professionals discover they are bleeding small amounts of money through forgotten subscriptions, unused memberships, or impulsive purchases that collectively amount to a substantial sum each month. Consider a time when you realized you were still paying for a streaming service or an app you hadn't used in months. These silent killers of your budget often go unnoticed until a manual audit. The first thing to grasp is that true control isn't about rigid deprivation, but about intentional allocation. Automated expense tracking allows you to see precisely where your money is flowing without effort. What separates consistent earners and astute money managers from the rest is their proactive approach to eliminating financial leakage and directing those resources toward runway building or wealth creation. Another factor that changes everything is realizing that every dollar saved through conscious expense management is a dollar earned, often with less effort than securing a raise. One shift that accelerates progress is moving from a passive acceptance of charges to an active, systemized review process. Modern budgeting apps, once connected, can highlight these recurring charges, making it simple to identify and cancel unnecessary expenses. This frees up capital for higher leverage activities like skill stacking or investing in your side income machines. Take a moment to consider how many small, recurring expenses you might be carrying that no longer provide value. Your practical micro action. Review your last month's bank statement specifically for recurring subscriptions and identify any that are no longer serving you. This simple act of review and elimination directly impacts your financial runway and accelerates your freedom timeline. Optimize your outflow, amplify your freedom. This insight naturally leads us forward to a core principle of effective financial management, assigning specific, intentional roles to every dollar of your income. Unplanned, discretionary spending, while seemingly harmless in isolation, consistently wastes potential and actively sabotages your long-term financial goals. Many professionals discover they earn a significant income, yet consistently feel like they're falling short on savings or investments because their money lacks direction. Think of the moment when your paycheck hits your account, and before you've even considered your financial goals, a significant portion is already mentally or practically allocated to immediate gratification or undefined spending. This absence of a clear system for allocation results in what's often called lifestyle creep or phantom spending, where money disappears without a clear, strategic purpose. The first thing to grasp is that your money is a resource that needs direction, much like a well-managed team. What separates consistent earners and astute wealth builders from the rest is their unwavering commitment to giving every incoming dollar a job before it arrives. Another factor that changes everything is realizing that this isn't about deprivation, but intentionality. It's about deciding where you want your money to go, rather than wondering where it went. One shift that accelerates progress is pre-allocating specific percentages of your income to different categories: savings, investments, and designated spending. This system removes the emotional burden of daily decisions and ensures your long-term goals are consistently funded. Take a moment to notice how much more clearly you could plan if every dollar had a predefined role from the outset. Your practical micro-action for today. For your next paycheck, designate clear percentages for your savings, investments, and allocated spending categories. This preemptive allocation transforms your income from a reactive flow into a proactive engine for your financial future. Direct your dollars, define your destiny. Let's build directly on what we uncovered about intentional money allocation. We'll now address a common source of financial friction: bill payment. Automating your bill payments is a powerful, simple system that prevents costly late fees and eliminates unnecessary stress, freeing up your valuable mental energy. Conversely, relying on manual bill payment is inherently prone to human error, forgetfulness, and the accumulation of avoidable financial penalties. Many professionals discover that despite their best intentions, a busy week or a sudden deadline at work can lead to a missed payment, incurring late fees that erode savings and damage credit scores. Think of the moment when you opened a bill statement only to see an unexpected late charge that could have been entirely avoided. The first thing to grasp is that your attention is a finite resource. What separates consistent earners and truly effective financial strategists from the rest is their relentless pursuit of automation for repetitive, low-value tasks. This allows them to allocate their mental bandwidth to higher leverage activities like skill development, building income streams, or strategic planning for career transitions. Another factor that changes everything is realizing that late fees, while seemingly minor individually, compound over time, directly detracting from your ability to build a financial runway or invest in your future. One shift that accelerates progress is embracing the simple, reliable power of autopay for all your recurring fixed expenses. This isn't just about convenience, it's about establishing a robust, error-proof financial system that runs silently in the background, safeguarding your credit and your capital. Take a moment to consider the cumulative stress and wasted money caused by even one forgotten bill over the past year. Your practical microaction: set up autopay for just one recurring bill today, starting with the simplest one. This immediate action is a small but profound step toward building an unbreakable financial operating system. Automate your payments, secure your peace. There's a deeper layer worth exploring in how we approach lasting financial discipline: the role of guilt-free enjoyment. Pre-allocated spending is not merely a luxury, it's a strategic component that allows for guilt-free enjoyment, fundamentally preventing the inevitable rebellion often caused by overly restrictive budgeting. Many professionals discover that attempts at extreme austerity lead to burnout and impulsive splurges, undermining weeks or months of diligent saving. Consider a time when a strict diet led to a large, guilt-ridden cheat meal. The psychology of financial deprivation operates similarly, eroding consistency and mental fortitude. This constant internal battle over every small purchase drains mental energy, detracting from the focus required for high-leverage activities like skill stacking or building your income machines. The first thing to grasp is that financial freedom isn't about perpetual sacrifice, but strategic, sustainable allocation. What separates consistent earners and astute wealth builders from the rest is their ability to integrate enjoyment without derailing their progress. They understand that a truly automated budget makes room for both ambitious goals and a vibrant present. Another factor that changes everything is recognizing that a small, regular allowance for fun money acts as a pressure release valve, making your entire financial system more resilient and your journey more enjoyable. It removes the emotional conflict from spending on things you value. Take a moment to consider how much more sustainable your financial journey could be with guilt-free spending. Your immediate microaction: create a dedicated fun money account today and transfer a small, designated amount into it. This intentional freedom fund is not an indulgence, but a strategic investment in your long-term commitment to financial independence. Enjoyment fuels endurance. Chapter 3: The Debt Annihilation System. Erase liabilities, build wealth. Consider Maria, a driven professional who had always been told that her student loans and mortgage were good debt, an investment in her future. For years, she managed the payments, believing it was simply part of adulthood. But when she started exploring options to transition from her demanding corporate role, she realized the crushing weight of those monthly payments locked her in. Each debt payment was a direct reduction of her potential runway, anchoring her to her current job. The good debt she carried became a silent barrier, limiting her freedom, flexibility, and ability to take strategic risks. This narrative underscores a critical truth: even conventionally good debt carries inherent risk and significantly limits your financial freedom. The status quo in society often normalizes excessive borrowing, creating a silent trap that binds you to your current income source. Many professionals discover that their monthly debt obligations dictate their career choices, making risky transitions or ambitious entrepreneurial ventures seem impossible. Think of the moment when you calculated your total monthly payments and felt a surge of anxiety about maintaining your current income. The first thing to grasp is that every dollar committed to debt payment is a dollar you cannot allocate to building your freedom fund, investing in skills, or creating new income streams. What separates consistent earners and true wealth builders from the rest is their aggressive pursuit of debt elimination, viewing it as a prerequisite for genuine financial independence. Another factor that changes everything is understanding the true cost of interest, which often far exceeds the perceived benefit of the initial loan. Take a moment to notice how debt impacts your perceived career flexibility and risk tolerance. One shift that accelerates progress is gaining absolute clarity on your current debt landscape. Your immediate microaction: list all your current debts, their corresponding interest rates, and their minimum monthly payments. This foundational step of awareness is the essential prerequisite for implementing any effective debt annihilation strategy. Conquer debt. Claim your choices. This insight naturally leads us forward from merely listing your debts to actively strategizing their annihilation. Strategic debt repayment accelerates your path to freedom, transforming passive financial obligations into active leverage. In contrast, making random, unprioritized payments often prolongs your financial servitude, keeping you tethered to the constraints of your current income. Many professionals discover they are making minimum payments across multiple debts, never feeling like they're gaining traction, losing valuable principal to compounding interest. Consider a time when you tried to tackle a complex project without a clear plan, haphazardly jumping between tasks and feeling overwhelmed. Debt repayment, when approached without a system, feels remarkably similar. The first thing to grasp is that an effective debt repayment strategy is not solely about math. It's about psychology and momentum. What separates consistent earners and those who successfully escape the debt cycle from the rest is their deliberate choice of a repayment method and unwavering commitment to it. Another factor that changes everything is understanding that even small, targeted extra payments can dramatically reduce the total interest paid and the repayment timeline. This frees up capital for building your runway and pursuing career independence. One shift that accelerates progress is focusing your extra payments on one debt at a time, creating a powerful snowball or avalanche effect. The debt snowball method prioritizes paying off the smallest debt first for psychological wins, while the debt avalanche method targets the highest interest rate debt first for maximum financial efficiency. Both are effective systems. Take a moment to consider the immense mental and financial relief you would experience with fewer monthly debt obligations. Your practical micro-action. Choose either the debt snowball or debt avalanche method and apply it to one of your existing debts, defining exactly how you will make an extra payment this month. This intentional, focused attack on your liabilities is the cornerstone of building sustainable wealth and true financial freedom. Attack debt strategically. Reclaim your future. Let's build directly on the strategic attack on debt by emphasizing a powerful accelerator: increasing your income. Increasing your income actively and strategically accelerates debt repayment, transforming months or years of obligation into a significantly shorter timeline. Relying solely on cutting expenses and meticulous budgeting, while important, is often a slower and more psychologically taxing path. Many professionals discover that even aggressive budget cuts only free up a finite amount, whereas income growth has far greater potential to impact their financial trajectory. Think of the moment you tried to save your way out of debt solely by deprivation, only to find the progress agonizingly slow and discouraging. The first thing to grasp is that there are two sides to the financial equation: expenses and income. What separates consistent earners and those who annihilate debt quickly from the rest is their proactive approach to growing the income side. Another factor that changes everything is realizing that every extra dollar earned and directly applied to debt repayment creates an immediate, tangible impact by reducing principal and therefore future interest. This isn't just about paying bills, it's about building momentum towards your career strategy and exit planning. One shift that accelerates progress is focusing on short-term income opportunities that can be directly channeled toward your debt strategy. This could be monetizing a skill through a small freelance project, selling unused items, or taking on a temporary high-value task. The goal is not long-term commitment, but immediate capital injection. Take a moment to consider how quickly your debt could disappear if you had an additional few $100s each month to apply to it. Your practical micro-action. Identify one small, quick way to earn an extra $50 this week. It could be selling something, a micro-task, or a small favor for pay. This active pursuit of additional income is your most potent weapon in the fight for financial freedom. Earn more, owe less, live free. Now here's where the real shift begins in truly breaking the debt cycle: establishing proactive systems. Proactive systems are essential for preventing the accumulation of new debt, ensuring your hard-won freedom isn't short-lived. Reactive approaches, where you only address debt after it's accrued, inevitably lead to a cycle of re-indebtedness, frustrating your progress toward financial independence. Many professionals discover they pay off one credit card only to find themselves accumulating a new balance on another due to lack of an underlying preventative strategy. Think of the moment you've experienced the financial whiplash of reducing a debt, only to see it creep back up from unexpected expenses or lack of disciplined spending. The first thing to grasp is that true debt annihilation isn't just about paying off old debt, but about building an impenetrable fortress against new liabilities. What separates consistent earners and those who successfully build wealth from the rest is their deliberate creation of financial buffers and the removal of temptation. Another factor that changes everything is recognizing the psychological triggers that lead to borrowing, often tied to perceived emergencies or impulsive desires for instant gratification, and systematically mitigating them. One shift that accelerates progress is physically removing easy access to credit that isn't absolutely necessary. This isn't about shaming, it's about engineering your environment for success, making it harder to fall back into old patterns that erode your runway and limit your career options. The goal is to make wise financial choices the default, rather than a constant battle of willpower. Take a moment to consider how much easier it would be to stay out of debt if certain temptations were simply removed from your immediate reach. Your immediate micro-action: locate one credit card you rarely use and don't truly need, and cut it up today. This is a powerful, symbolic, and practical step. This proactive defense against future debt is as crucial as aggressively tackling your current liabilities. Prevent new debt, protect your freedom. With that foundation in place, we now delve into ensuring your debt freedom isn't just a temporary victory, but a lasting reality. A systematic approach is the bedrock for securing true, lasting debt freedom. Without a clear, reinforced plan, the default trajectory unfortunately leads to relapse, eroding all the hard work and discipline you've invested. Many professionals discover they celebrate paying off a major debt, only to find themselves slowly accumulating new liabilities months or even years later, because the underlying behavioral systems were never fully embedded. Think of a moment when you successfully completed a difficult goal, only to revert to old habits when the initial motivation faded. This cyclical pattern directly undermines your career strategy, as the fear of re-indebtedness can prevent you from ever truly building enough runway to make that job escape. The first thing to grasp is that sustained debt freedom is less about willpower and more about establishing a robust, self-reinforcing system. What separates consistent earners and those who maintain their financial independence from the rest is their deliberate integration of psychological tools to track and celebrate progress, making the journey tangible and rewarding. Another factor that changes everything is recognizing that consistent, small wins, visually represented, create powerful momentum and reinforce the positive habits necessary for long-term success. This isn't just about numbers. It's about shifting your identity to someone who is free from debt, not merely someone who is trying to be. Take a moment to consider how much more motivated you feel when you can visibly see your progress towards a goal. One shift that accelerates progress is creating a tangible, visual representation of your debt repayment journey. Your immediate micro-action: create a simple visual tracker today, a chart, a thermometer, a spreadsheet, to celebrate your debt repayment progress. Fill it in after every payment. This simple, visible reinforcement mechanism is essential for maintaining momentum and securing your lasting financial liberation. Track your progress. Secure your freedom. Chapter 4: The Investment Ascension System. Make your money work harder than you. Think of Alex, a talented software engineer who diligently saved a portion of every paycheck, but always hesitated to invest it. He believed investing was complex, requiring a high-priced financial guru or an in-depth understanding of market timing, which he simply didn't have time for. As a result, his savings sat in a low-interest bank account, barely outpacing inflation, while his friends, less financially savvy but more proactive, saw their modest investments steadily grow. Alex's reluctance to engage with investing meant his money was stagnant, failing to contribute to his dream of building a runway for a startup, keeping him firmly tethered to his demanding job. This narrative highlights a pervasive and costly misconception: the belief that you need to be an expert or rely on expensive, actively managed advice to build substantial wealth. The status quo in finance often implicitly promotes dependency on these expensive advisors, perpetuating a myth of complexity. Many professionals discover they feel intimidated by the investment landscape, seeing it as a specialized domain rather than an accessible tool for personal leverage. Consider a time when market news headlines or conflicting financial advice overwhelmed you, leading to inaction. The first thing to grasp is that straightforward, low-cost investing strategies consistently outperform the majority of actively managed funds over the long term. What separates consistent earners and astute wealth builders from the rest is their understanding that simplicity and consistency trump complexity and speculation. Another factor that changes everything is realizing that every percentage point paid in fees to an advisor or actively managed fund is a direct reduction in your wealth accumulation, impacting your runway and exit planning. One shift that accelerates progress is embracing index fund investing, which offers broad market exposure at minimal cost. This allows your money to work for you, compounding diligently without requiring constant oversight. Take a moment to consider how much more confidently you could approach your financial future if you understood the core principles of wealth building. Your immediate micro-action. Research what an S&P 500 index fund is and understand how it works. Demystifying investing is the essential first step to making your money a powerful, tireless ally in your quest for freedom. Invest simply, grow powerfully. Moving from theory into practice, let's turn our attention to the unparalleled power of consistent, automated investing. While you now grasp the simplicity of what to invest in, how you invest is equally crucial. Consistent automated investing is the bedrock for building substantial long-term wealth, whereas sporadic, impulsive contributions almost invariably yield inconsistent, suboptimal returns. Many professionals discover they attempt to time the market, waiting for the perfect moment to invest, only to miss out on steady growth opportunities. Think of the moment you had a bonus or extra cash, intended to invest it, but then postponed, or worse, spent it, failing to capture potential market gains. This unpredictable approach creates an unstable foundation for building your financial runway and makes true job escape feel distant. The first thing to grasp is that compounding returns thrive on regularity and time, not market prognostication. What separates consistent earners and astute wealth accumulators from the rest is their unwavering commitment to a set schedule of investment, regardless of market fluctuations. This discipline removes the emotional decision-making that often sabotages returns. Another factor that changes everything is the profound impact of automation. By setting up automatic transfers, you eliminate the mental friction and willpower required to manually initiate investments, ensuring your money is always working for you. Take a moment to consider the profound cumulative impact of even a small, consistent contribution over years, free from the stress of active management. One shift that accelerates progress is embracing the set-it-and-forget-it mentality for your core investments. Your practical micro-action today: open an investment account if you haven't already, and set up an automatic transfer of just $25 into it, starting this week. This disciplined, hands-off approach transforms your investing from a recurring chore into a powerful automated engine for wealth creation. Automate your growth, secure your future. Let's build directly on the importance of consistent, automated investing and add a crucial layer of resilience: diversification. Diversified investments effectively mitigate risk, creating a more stable and predictable path to long-term wealth. Conversely, concentrated portfolios, while offering the allure of rapid gains, inevitably face higher volatility and the potential for devastating losses. Many professionals discover they are drawn to the hot stock, tip, or the latest trend, putting a disproportionate amount of their capital into a single company or sector, only to see their hard-earned money plummet when that specific bet doesn't pay off. Think of the moment you heard about someone who made a fortune on one stock, leading you to consider a similar, high-risk, undiversified approach. This reactive, non-diversified strategy creates immense stress and actively threatens your ability to build a reliable financial runway for career change. The first thing to grasp is that true wealth is built on consistent, prudent growth, not speculative gambles. What separates consistent earners and astute wealth builders from the rest is their understanding that spreading risk across various asset classes is a fundamental principle of sound investing. Another factor that changes everything is realizing that different asset classes perform well under different economic conditions. When one area may be down, another may be up, smoothing out your overall returns. One shift that accelerates progress is moving away from the all eggs in one basket mentality and toward a balanced portfolio. This isn't about becoming an expert in every market, but about utilizing simple, diversified index funds that automatically spread your money across hundreds or thousands of companies and sectors, reducing idiosyncratic risk. Take a moment to consider how much more securely you would approach your investments if you knew your eggs weren't all in one fragile basket. Your practical micro-action. List 3 different distinct asset classes you know of, even broadly, such as stocks, bonds, or real estate. This strategic spreading of your investment capital is a non-negotiable component of a resilient wealth-building system. Diversify your assets, fortify your future. Now here's where the real shift begins in understanding how money truly grows: the power of compounding. Compounding interest is the undeniable secret to exponential wealth growth, turning modest, consistent contributions into substantial capital. To ignore this principle is to leave immense potential money on the table, effectively choosing a slower, more difficult path to financial freedom. Many professionals discover they diligently save, but keep their funds in low-interest accounts, failing to leverage the exponential power that investing offers. Think of the moment you've seen a small sapling grow into a towering tree over decades. Compounding works similarly, quietly building wealth over time. This missed opportunity directly impacts your ability to build a robust financial runway or to even contemplate a career transition. The first thing to grasp is that time, more than initial capital, is your most powerful ally in compounding. What separates consistent earners and truly wealthy individuals from the rest is their early and unwavering commitment to letting their money generate more money, which in turn generates even more. Another factor that changes everything is realizing that even small, regular investments, given enough time, can dramatically outpace larger, inconsistent contributions. This means you don't need a huge starting sum to begin leveraging compounding. You just need to start and stay consistent. Take a moment to consider the cumulative impact of delaying your investment by even a few years. One shift that accelerates progress is moving from a linear view of money growth to an exponential one, understanding that your earnings can earn. Your practical micro-action. Use an online compound interest calculator to determine how much $100 per month invested for 20 years would grow at an average 8% annual interest rate. This tangible understanding of compounding's power is the spark that ignites your wealth-building journey and accelerates your financial independence. Start early. Compound daily. There's a deeper layer worth exploring regarding the future you're building with your investments. Systematic retirement planning. Systematic retirement planning is the ultimate safeguard for your future security, ensuring that your pursuit of current freedom doesn't inadvertently jeopardize your long-term well-being. Procrastination, unfortunately, is the silent assassin of retirement goals, leaving many professionals unprepared and anxious as their working years draw to a close. Many professionals discover they are so focused on immediate goals, like building a runway for a job escape, that they neglect the compounding power of early retirement contributions. Think of the moment you considered delaying retirement savings because there's always more time, only to realize how quickly years can pass. This oversight can create immense budget stress later in life, forcing you back into a dependent financial situation. The first thing to grasp is that true financial independence encompasses both immediate freedom and future security. What separates consistent earners and astute wealth builders from the rest is their integrated approach to financial planning, understanding that today's small retirement contributions unlock disproportionate future gains. Another factor that changes everything is realizing the tax advantages offered by dedicated retirement accounts like a 401k or Roth IRA. These aren't just savings vehicles, they are powerful, tax-advantaged engines for wealth acceleration. One shift that accelerates progress is understanding that even a modest, automated contribution to a retirement account significantly leverages compounding, setting your future self up for success without requiring complex daily decisions. Take a moment to consider the peace of mind that comes from knowing your future financial security is being systematically built even while you focus on today's goals. Your practical microaction. Research your employer's 401k plan, especially their matching contributions, or investigate opening a Roth IRA. This foundational step ensures your long-term prosperity is secured, allowing you to pursue present freedom with confidence. Plan your future, live your present. Chapter 5. The Tax Optimization System. Keep more of what you earn. Consider Sarah, a successful freelance consultant who for years simply paid whatever her accountant told her was due, never questioning if she could legally reduce her tax burden. She saw taxes as an unavoidable, fixed cost. But as her income grew, so did her tax bill, significantly eroding her profits and delaying her ability to invest in new skill-stacking opportunities or build her financial runway. She eventually realized that her passive approach to taxes was effectively a voluntary pay cut, limiting her ability to truly leverage her earning power and accelerate her path to complete job escape. This narrative underscores a crucial point. Strategic tax planning is not only legal and ethical, but also an essential component of maximizing your earning power and accelerating your financial freedom. The status quo, however, often confuses legitimate tax avoidance with illegal tax evasion, instilling a fear that prevents proactive optimization. Many professionals discover they passively accept their tax burden, missing out on legitimate opportunities to keep more of their hard-earned money. Think of the moment you felt frustrated by a significant portion of your income disappearing into taxes without understanding how to legally minimize that outflow. The first thing to grasp is that the tax code is designed with various incentives and deductions that you are legally entitled to utilize. What separates consistent earners and astute wealth builders from the rest is their proactive approach to understanding and implementing these tax-saving strategies. Another factor that changes everything is realizing that every dollar saved on taxes is a dollar that can be reinvested into your runway, skill development, or income-generating assets, directly accelerating your path to independence. Take a moment to notice how much more quickly you could achieve your financial goals if you retained an extra few percentage points of your income each year. One shift that accelerates progress is moving from a reactive pay-what's-due mindset to a proactive optimize what's owed strategy. Your immediate micro-action. Identify one common tax deduction you might qualify for, even a simple one like contributions to an IRA or health savings account. This intelligent approach to tax optimization is a powerful, often overlooked lever for amplifying your financial success. Optimize your taxes. Amplify your wealth. This insight naturally leads us forward to the practical application of tax optimization, systematically identifying and claiming your eligible deductions. Systematically identifying and claiming deductions is a proven method to legally reduce your taxable income, putting more money directly back into your hands. Conversely, overlooking these legitimate opportunities leads directly to overpayment, essentially leaving free money on the table that could be fueling your financial runway. Many professionals discover they rely solely on standard deductions, unaware of the specific expenses unique to their career or side income that could significantly reduce their tax burden. Consider a time when you paid full price for something, only to realize later a discount or rebate was available that you simply missed. Overlooking deductions is a financial equivalent, directly impacting your ability to fund skill stacking or secure enough capital for a job escape. The first thing to grasp is that a proactive approach to expense tracking is foundational for effective deduction claiming. What separates consistent earners and astute wealth builders from the rest is their meticulous record keeping, recognizing that every eligible expense is a potential tax saving. Another factor that changes everything is understanding that tax laws offer specific advantages for those with self-employment income, even from a small side hustle. These deductions can significantly lower your effective tax rate. One shift that accelerates progress is moving from a reactive year-end scramble for receipts to a consistent, ongoing system of expense categorization and documentation. Take a moment to consider how much money you might have overpaid in taxes over the last few years by simply not knowing which deductions applied to you. Your practical micro-action. Review your past month's expenses with a keen eye for anything that could potentially be a business or personal deduction. This systematic attention to deductions is a high-leverage activity that directly boosts your take-home pay and accelerates your financial freedom. Track expenses, reduce taxes. Moving from theory into practice, let's explore another powerful lever in your tax optimization system: leveraging tax-advantaged accounts. Utilizing tax-advantaged accounts is a critical strategy that significantly boosts your savings and investment growth, often providing thousands of dollars in hidden benefits. Conversely, ignoring these vehicles means consistently facing higher tax burdens, needlessly slowing your progress toward financial freedom. Many professionals discover they are contributing to standard taxable brokerage accounts when they have readily available options that offer substantial tax breaks. Consider a time when you realized you could have saved money on a purchase if you had only used a specific coupon or loyalty program. Tax-advantaged accounts are similar, offering government-backed discounts on your investments. This oversight directly impacts your ability to rapidly build a financial runway for a career pivot or job escape. The first thing to grasp is that these accounts are designed to encourage long-term savings by reducing your tax liability, either now or in the future. What separates consistent earners and astute wealth builders from the rest is their proactive utilization of every available tax-advantaged account suited to their financial goals. Another factor that changes everything is understanding the different types of tax benefits, whether it's immediate tax deductions, tax-free growth, or tax-free withdrawals in retirement, and strategically choosing the right fit. Take a moment to consider the cumulative impact of years of tax-advantaged growth on your overall wealth. One shift that accelerates progress is educating yourself on the core differences between popular retirement and savings accounts. Your practical micro-action. Learn the fundamental difference between pre-tax and Roth retirement contributions. This understanding unlocks significant future benefits. Strategic use of tax-advantaged accounts is not just smart investing, it's a profound acceleration of your wealth-building journey. Leverage tax breaks, maximize your gains. Let's build directly on what we uncovered about leveraging tax-advantaged accounts by exploring another critical area of tax optimization: your business structure. Choosing the right business structure is a pivotal decision that strategically optimizes your taxes, directly impacting your net income and wealth acceleration. Conversely, operating under an incorrect or default structure often results in higher liabilities and missed opportunities, unnecessarily eroding your earning power. Many professionals discover they default to a sole proprietorship for their side hustles or consulting gigs without understanding the full tax implications, particularly concerning self-employment taxes. Think of the moment you filed taxes as a freelancer and were surprised by the additional tax burden compared to your W-2 income. This unexpected reduction in take-home pay directly hinders your ability to build a financial runway or fund skill stacking for a career transition. The first thing to grasp is that your business entity isn't just a legal formality, it's a powerful tax planning tool. What separates consistent earners and astute wealth builders from the rest is their proactive choice of a structure that aligns with their income levels and long-term financial goals. Maximizing their after-tax earnings. Another factor that changes everything is understanding that different structures offer distinct advantages for deductions, liability protection, and how profits are taxed. For instance, an LLC with an S-corp election can potentially save thousands in self-employment taxes once income reaches a certain level. One shift that accelerates progress is viewing your business structure as a dynamic component of your financial strategy, not a static choice made once. Take a moment to consider how much more efficiently you could grow your independent income with an optimized tax structure. Your immediate microaction: briefly research the fundamental tax implications of operating as an LLC versus a sole proprietorship. This foundational understanding is crucial for maximizing your income and accelerating your path to financial independence. Structure wisely. Keep more. Let's build directly on what we uncovered about optimizing your business structure by emphasizing the ultimate protective layer: regular tax reviews. Regular, proactive tax reviews are the bedrock of an optimized financial position, ensuring you consistently keep more of what you earn and make informed decisions. Conversely, a reactive approach, where tax preparation is a frantic, once-a-year event, inevitably leads to missed opportunities, overpayment, and unnecessary stress. Many professionals discover they only think about taxes when the filing deadline looms, scrambling to find receipts and reconcile figures. Consider a time when you realized, after the fact, a major decision could have been handled more advantageously if you had only planned ahead. This reactive stance often means thousands of dollars are left on the table, funds that could have been dedicated to accelerating your job escape, investing in new skills, or building your critical financial runway. The first thing to grasp is that your financial situation and the tax code are not static. They are dynamic. What separates consistent earners and astute wealth builders from the rest is their understanding that tax optimization is an ongoing process, not an annual chore. Another factor that changes everything is realizing that small adjustments made throughout the year, such as tweaking your withholding or making estimated payments, can prevent large, unwelcome surprises and allow for better cash flow management. This proactive engagement directly impacts your earning power by ensuring you minimize your tax liability legally. Take a moment to consider how much more confident and in control you would feel about your financial future if you had a clear, ongoing tax strategy. One shift that accelerates progress is moving from simply preparing your taxes to actively planning them year-round. Your immediate microaction: pull out your calendar right now and schedule 3 specific dates over the next year, perhaps quarterly, to sit down and proactively review your tax strategy, even for just 30 minutes. This disciplined, forward-looking approach to taxes transforms them from a burden into a powerful lever for wealth creation. Plan proactively, prosper consistently. Chapter 6: The Time Multiplier System. Reclaim your day, accelerate your freedom. Consider David, a dedicated marketing manager who consistently logged 60-hour weeks. His calendar was perpetually booked, his inbox a never-ending stream. He'd tell himself he was productive, always busy, a sign of his commitment. Yet, despite his relentless effort, he felt stuck. His dream of launching a consulting side hustle, building a new skill set for leverage, or even just researching market gaps for a job escape remained untouched. His constant busyness at work left no strategic time for his future, trapping him in the very corporate hamster wheel he aspired to leave. His effort was high, but his strategic output for his personal freedom was almost zero. This narrative reveals a profound truth. Constant busyness often masks deep inefficiencies and a lack of strategic focus. The prevailing status quo in many professional environments mistakenly values sheer effort and hours spent over actual, meaningful output that aligns with your personal goals. Many professionals discover they are caught in a cycle of reacting to external demands, consistently postponing their own high-value, long-term initiatives. Think of the moment you ended a demanding workday, feeling exhausted, yet realizing you hadn't moved the needle on your most important personal projects. Take a moment to consider where your own daily busyness might be masking a lack of strategic progress toward your personal freedom goals. The first thing to grasp is that time is your most finite, non-renewable asset. What separates consistent earners and those who successfully build their runway from the rest is their ruthless prioritization of tasks that directly serve their unique career and freedom objectives. Another factor that changes everything is understanding that saying no to lower leverage activities, even if they appear urgent to others, is a powerful act of self-leadership. One shift that accelerates progress is actively quantifying where your time actually goes versus where you think it goes. Your immediate micro action. Track how you spend every hour of your time for one full day. This unfiltered awareness of your time allocation is the critical first step to reclaiming your day and accelerating your freedom. Analyze your time. Amplify your impact. With that foundation in place, let's explore how to transform that awareness of your time into concentrated, impactful action. Concentrated effort on high-impact tasks yields disproportionately significant results, propelling you forward rapidly. In stark contrast, the pervasive habit of multitasking dilutes your productivity, leading to shallow work, more errors, and ultimately, slower progress toward your freedom goals. Many professionals discover they juggle multiple projects simultaneously, constantly switching tabs, responding to notifications, and never truly engaging deeply with any single task. Think of the moment you attempted to write an important email while simultaneously monitoring social media and answering chat messages. The quality of your output and the time it took likely suffered. This fractured focus directly impedes your ability to master new market skills, develop a compelling client acquisition strategy, or build the intellectual capital necessary for your job escape. The first thing to grasp is that your brain isn't wired for effective multitasking. It merely switches rapidly between tasks, incurring a costly cognitive load. What separates consistent earners and those who successfully build their runway from the rest is their deliberate choice to engage in single tasking for their most critical work. Another factor that changes everything is understanding that even short bursts of focused attention, free from distraction, can often accomplish more than hours of scattered effort. Take a moment to consider the sheer volume of high-quality work you could produce if you dedicated just 1 hour each day to uninterrupted focus. One shift that accelerates progress is creating dedicated blocks of uninterrupted time for your highest leverage activities. Your practical micro-action. Block out just 30 minutes tomorrow in your calendar for uninterrupted, single-minded focus on one specific important task related to your financial freedom or career strategy. This deliberate cultivation of deep work is your key to unlocking exponential progress and accelerating your journey to independence. Focus deeply. Produce powerfully. This insight naturally leads us forward to another powerful time multiplier, the strategic art of delegation. Delegating tasks effectively frees up your most valuable asset, your time, allowing you to concentrate on high-leverage activities that truly accelerate your freedom. Conversely, hoarding tasks, under the mistaken belief that only you can do them perfectly, severely limits your capacity for growth, innovation, and strategic thinking. Many professionals discover they are bogged down by administrative duties, routine emails, or tasks outside their core competence, which prevents them from dedicating time to building new skills, developing a unique market offering, or crafting their escape plan. Think of the moment you were overwhelmed by trivial chores at work, preventing you from tackling a critical project that could have elevated your career. This reluctance to delegate directly impacts your earning power by restricting your focus to low-value activities. The first thing to grasp is that delegation is not about laziness. It's about strategic leverage and recognizing the value of your own time. What separates consistent earners and those who successfully build their runway from the rest is their willingness to outsource or assign tasks that others can perform more efficiently or cost-effectively. Another factor that changes everything is understanding that even if a delegated task isn't done exactly your way, the net gain in your freed-up time for higher impact work is almost always worth it. Take a moment to notice where this principle already shows up in your own decisions, or where you've resisted it. One shift that accelerates progress is identifying tasks that are not core to your unique value proposition or personal growth. Your practical microaction. Identify one task you genuinely dislike doing, or one that could easily be delegated to someone else, either professionally or personally, this week. This strategic shedding of lower-value tasks is a fundamental step in reclaiming your time and accelerating your path to true freedom. Delegate wisely. Elevate your impact. Moving from theory into practice, let's now integrate a vital component of time multiplication often overlooked: the optimization of your personal energy. Optimizing your personal energy is fundamentally crucial because it directly enhances your output, the quality of your decisions, and your overall capacity to sustain high-leverage work. Ignoring it inevitably leads to exhaustion, burnout, and a cascade of poor decisions that derail your progress toward freedom. Many professionals discover they push through their days on caffeine and adrenaline, believing that continuous work is synonymous with productivity, only to find their focus waning and creativity stifled. Think of the moment you felt utterly drained by late afternoon, unable to concentrate on even simple tasks, let alone complex problem solving. This depletion of energy directly impacts your ability to learn new market skills, negotiate effectively, or even maintain the discipline required for runway building. The first thing to grasp is that energy is a finite resource that must be actively managed and replenished, not simply consumed. What separates consistent earners and those who successfully build their runway from the rest is their strategic integration of recovery and renewal into their daily routines. Another factor that changes everything is understanding that short, deliberate breaks can actually increase overall productivity and improve decision-making, rather than being a sign of weakness. Take a moment to consider how often you push through fatigue only to realize the quality of your work suffered as a result. One shift that accelerates progress is consciously building in moments of rest and recovery throughout your workday. Your practical micro-action: schedule a 15-minute intentional break every 2 hours during your workday tomorrow. Step away from your screen, move your body, or simply close your eyes. This mindful management of your energy is not a luxury. It's a strategic imperative for sustained high performance and accelerated freedom. Renew your energy, amplify your impact. There's a deeper layer worth exploring regarding reclaiming your day and accelerating your freedom: the strategic power of automation. Automating repetitive tasks saves immense time and mental energy, directly multiplying your capacity for high-leverage activities. Conversely, manual repetition is a profound freedom killer, anchoring you to mundane operations instead of liberating you for impactful innovation. Many professionals discover they spend hours each week on predictable, rule-based tasks, updating spreadsheets, sending routine emails, generating standard reports. They rationalize it as just part of the job, but those minutes accumulate into hours, days, even weeks over a year. Think of the moment you had a brilliant idea for your side hustle or a new business strategy, but couldn't act on it because you were stuck copy-pasting data. This constant engagement in low-value, repetitive work directly prevents you from focusing on skill stacking, strategic planning, or building your financial runway. The first thing to grasp is that your time dedicated to repetitive tasks is time directly subtracted from activities that build your financial runway or accelerate your career transition. What separates consistent earners and those who successfully build their freedom blueprint from the rest is their unwavering commitment to eliminating such drains on their time through automation. Another factor that changes everything is the sheer accessibility of free and low-cost digital tools designed precisely to handle these rote tasks, requiring only a small initial investment of your time to set up. Take a moment to consider how much more impactful your week would be if you reclaimed just 5 hours from repetitive chores. One shift that accelerates progress is proactively seeking out opportunities to automate. Your immediate micro-action: find one small, repetitive digital task you currently perform, like organizing files or sending a standard follow-up email, and research a free tool or software that can automate it for you. This strategic investment in automation is a profound act of self-leverage that multiplies your time and accelerates your path to freedom. Automate the mundane. Amplify your freedom. Chapter 7. The Skill Stacking System. Become irresistible in the marketplace. Consider Maria, a highly competent graphic designer. She was skilled, but in a crowded market, her rates were always capped. She felt the salary ceiling pressing down, and client acquisition was a constant grind, often leading to negotiation mistakes where she undervalued her work. She spent years trying to be the best designer, only to realize the market rarely paid a premium for singular mastery anymore. Then, she started learning basic front-end coding and digital marketing strategy. Suddenly, she wasn't just a designer. She was a designer who could also implement her designs and understand the marketing funnel they served. This unique combination made her irresistible, allowing her to command higher fees and giving her the leverage she needed to launch her own agency. This narrative reveals a profound market truth. Niche generalists, those who intelligently combine distinct skills, are often the ones who truly thrive. The prevailing status quo often promotes the pursuit of single-skill mastery, inadvertently placing professionals into crowded, commoditized fields. Many professionals discover they struggle to stand out, even with deep expertise in one area, because their value proposition isn't unique enough. Think of the moment you felt like just another cog, despite your specialized knowledge, unable to truly differentiate yourself for higher earning power or a smoother job escape. The first thing to grasp is that true market value lies not just in depth, but in unique combinations. What separates consistent earners and those who command market attention from the rest is their ability to leverage multiple competencies in novel ways. Another factor that changes everything is recognizing that you don't need to be world-class in every skill. You only need to be good enough in several complementary areas to create a distinct advantage. Take a moment to consider where a unique blend of your existing abilities could create unexpected value in the marketplace. One shift that accelerates progress is actively identifying and cultivating these skill stacks that make you irreplaceable. Your immediate microaction. Identify two distinct skills you currently possess, perhaps one professional and one personal, that could combine to create a uniquely valuable offering. This strategic approach to skill development is the ultimate leverage point for becoming indispensable and accelerating your financial freedom. Stack your skills, own your niche. With that foundation in place, let's explore how to systematically build those unique skill stacks through continuous learning. A systematic learning process ensures constant growth, keeping you relevant and highly valuable in a rapidly evolving marketplace. Stagnation, on the other hand, is a direct path to obsolescence, eroding your earning power and making any career transition far more difficult. Many professionals discover they invest heavily in their initial education, but then cease dedicated learning once they land a job, relying on-the-job osmosis to keep pace. Consider a time when a new technology or industry trend emerged and you felt unprepared or left behind, witnessing others with more current skills gain an advantage. This lack of deliberate, ongoing skill development creates skill bottlenecks, limits your negotiation leverage, and can significantly delay your ability to build a runway for job escape. The first thing to grasp is that learning is not a one-time event. It's a lifelong strategic imperative. What separates consistent earners and those who successfully navigate career transitions from the rest is their deliberate commitment to continuous, targeted skill acquisition. Another factor that changes everything is understanding that even small, consistent efforts, 10 to 15 minutes a day, can compound into significant expertise over time, similar to how small investments compound financially. Take a moment to consider the sheer power of cumulative learning, transforming tiny daily efforts into a formidable advantage. One shift that accelerates progress is integrating learning into your daily routine, treating it as non-negotiable as other core tasks. Your practical microaction. Dedicate just 10 minutes today to actively learn a new concept related to your field, your desired skill stack, or your financial freedom journey. This disciplined approach to learning is your ultimate insurance policy against obsolescence and your most potent tool for becoming irresistible. Learn relentlessly, grow endlessly. Let's build directly on what we uncovered about continuous learning by focusing its application on a key differentiator: problem solving. Systematically solving problems is the most direct path to establishing indispensable expertise and commanding higher value in any marketplace. Reactive problem solving, conversely, provides less perceived value, keeping you in a transactional role rather than a strategic one. Many professionals discover they are caught in a cycle of fixing issues as they arise, without ever analyzing root causes or offering preventative solutions. Consider a time when a boss or client brought you a recurring issue, and your response was merely to address the symptom, not the underlying defect. This reactive approach, while necessary at times, fails to elevate your status as a true expert and limits your earning potential, making it harder to negotiate higher fees or prepare for a job escape. The first thing to grasp is that true value creation comes from foresight and systematic solution design, not just putting out fires. What separates consistent earners and those who successfully build their leverage from the rest is their ability to anticipate challenges and develop robust, repeatable solutions. Another factor that changes everything is understanding that identifying a pervasive problem within your industry or niche is often the clearest path to creating a high-value product or service. Take a moment to consider the common frustrations you and your colleagues face regularly. These are often hidden opportunities for you to become the solution. One shift that accelerates progress is consciously moving from being a problem fixer to a problem solver. Your practical micro-action. Identify one recurring problem you or your clients face and spend some time brainstorming how you could offer a systematic solution rather than just a quick fix. This deliberate focus on systematic problem-solving is the hallmark of true expertise and a powerful driver of market irresistibility. Solve systematically, command value. Now here's where the real shift begins in becoming truly irresistible in the marketplace: the strategic cultivation of relationships. Systematically building genuine relationships is the most potent lubricant for unlocking unforeseen opportunities and accelerating your career trajectory. In sharp contrast, transactional networking, where interactions are solely driven by immediate self-interest, yields very little enduring value or leverage. Many professionals discover they attend events, collect business cards, and make superficial connections, only to find these contacts rarely translate into meaningful support or collaboration. Think of the moment you needed a referral, advice, or an introduction, and realized your network was largely dormant or unwilling to help. This lack of genuine connection directly impacts your client acquisition friction, your ability to negotiate effectively, and your confidence in making a risky job transition. The first thing to grasp is that true networking is about giving more than you take, fostering trust and mutual respect over the long term. What separates consistent earners and those who successfully build their runway from the rest is their deliberate commitment to nurturing a strong, supportive network, often without an immediate agenda. Another factor that changes everything is understanding that the most valuable opportunities often arise from unexpected intersections and referrals from people who genuinely believe in your character and competence. Take a moment to consider the long-term compounding effect of consistently adding value to your professional relationships. One shift that accelerates progress is moving from a mindset of "what can they do for me" to "how can I genuinely help them?" Your practical microaction. Today, send a genuine, personalized thank you message to someone who helped you recently, big or small, with no strings attached. This systematic investment in relationships is a powerful, human-centered approach to unlocking boundless career and financial possibilities. Cultivate connections. Open new doors. Now here's where the real shift begins in becoming truly irresistible in the marketplace: cultivating your professional presence through a strong personal brand. A strong personal brand acts as a powerful magnet, proactively attracting unforeseen opportunities and making you visible to the right people. Conversely, a lack of presence leaves you effectively invisible, unable to fully capitalize on your skills or expertise. Many professionals discover they mistakenly rely solely on their resume or internal performance, failing to proactively shape how they are perceived online and off. Think of the moment you searched for a peer or potential collaborator and found a sparse, outdated profile, leading you to question their current engagement or unique value. This invisibility creates client acquisition friction and makes it harder to be considered for promotions, new roles, or even headhunted for a job escape. Your expertise, no matter how profound, means little if it's hidden. The first thing to grasp is that your personal brand isn't about vanity. It's about establishing clarity and credibility in a crowded digital world. What separates consistent earners and those who successfully build their runway from the rest is their deliberate curation of their online presence, ensuring it authentically reflects their unique skill stack and value proposition. Another factor that changes everything is realizing that every interaction, online or offline, contributes to this brand, influencing whether opportunities find you or pass you by. Take a moment to consider the cumulative impact of a strong, consistent personal brand over the course of your career. One shift that accelerates progress is moving from a passive identity to an active, intentional one. Your practical microaction: dedicate 10 minutes today to update your LinkedIn profile with your latest accomplishment or a refined summary that highlights your unique skill stack. This proactive management of your professional identity is your ultimate lever for attracting the opportunities that accelerate your financial freedom. Brand yourself. Open your world. Chapter 8: The Mindset Master System. Conquer fear, unleash your potential. Consider Alex, a brilliant software engineer, lauded by his peers, constantly presented with opportunities for leadership roles or lucrative freelance projects. Yet, whenever a significant leap presented itself, an invisible barrier would rise. He'd find reasons to hesitate, convincing himself he wasn't quite ready, or that the market was too saturated, or that he'd inevitably fail. He'd read self-help books, affirmed positive thoughts, but the underlying fear of visibility, of true success, held him captive in a comfortable but unfulfilling corporate role, preventing him from building the independent income streams he truly desired. His talent was undeniable, but his internal narrative was his greatest bottleneck. This narrative highlights a critical truth. Genuine positive thinking isn't merely wishful thinking. It demands actionable systems to address the deep-seated fears and limiting beliefs that hold us back. The status quo often relies on superficial emotional changes or transient motivation rather than a grounded strategy for mindset mastery. Many professionals discover they intellectualize their desire for financial freedom or career change, yet consistently hesitate when presented with a concrete opportunity. Think of the moment you felt a surge of motivation to pursue a new skill or negotiate a raise, only to find yourself paralyzed by internal doubt or a belief that you weren't good enough. This internal friction directly impacts your earning power, negotiation leverage, and ultimately your ability to build a runway for job escape. Take a moment to consider where a limiting belief might be subtly dictating your financial choices, preventing you from taking that next step. The first thing to grasp is that your mindset is not a fixed trait. It's a skill that can be developed and refined. What separates consistent earners and those who successfully navigate career transitions from the rest is their deliberate, systematic approach to identifying and reprogramming their limiting beliefs. Another factor that changes everything is understanding that these beliefs are often unconscious, learned patterns that masquerade as truth. One shift that accelerates progress is moving from passively enduring negative self-talk to actively interrogating and replacing it with empowering, evidence-based beliefs. Your immediate microaction: identify one specific negative belief you hold about your financial capability or potential for success. Mastering your internal world is the most powerful leverage point for unleashing your true potential and achieving lasting financial freedom. Master your mind, master your future. Let's build directly on what we uncovered about identifying limiting beliefs by now focusing on the systematic process of challenging them. Systematically challenging your limiting beliefs is the direct path to unlocking your full potential, removing the invisible barriers that hold you back from financial and career breakthroughs. Conversely, unexamined beliefs will continue to dictate your actions, often leading to self-sabotage and the repetition of past failures. Many professionals discover they intellectualize their desire for higher income or a job escape, yet unconsciously carry beliefs like, "I'm not good at negotiation," or "I can't charge premium rates." Think of the moment you hesitated to ask for a raise or bid on a high-value client project, not because you lacked skill, but because an internal voice told you it was out of reach. This internal narrative directly impacts your earning power, hinders confident decision-making, and can create significant friction in your client acquisition efforts. The first thing to grasp is that beliefs, even deeply ingrained ones, are not unalterable facts. They are merely thoughts you've thought repeatedly until they feel true. What separates consistent earners and those who successfully build their runway from the rest is their willingness to act as a detective, rigorously questioning the validity of these internal narratives. Another factor that changes everything is realizing that your past experiences, while influential, do not inherently define your future capabilities unless you allow them to. One shift that accelerates progress is treating your limiting beliefs not as absolute truths, but as hypotheses that can be tested and disproven with evidence. Take a moment to consider how much more confidently you could pursue your financial goals if you actively dismantled these internal constraints. Your practical micro-action. Take the negative belief you identified earlier and now deliberately write down at least 3 pieces of evidence from your life that directly contradict or challenge that belief. This systematic process of evidence-based belief transformation is crucial for conquering fear and unleashing your true potential. Challenge your limits, expand your world. Now, here's where the real shift begins in conquering fear and unleashing your potential. The power of systematic small actions. Systematizing small, consistent actions is the most effective way to overcome fear, build momentum, and create tangible progress. Conversely, procrastination amplifies anxiety, cementing the very fears that hold you back and leading to skill bottlenecks. Many professionals discover they intellectualize their financial goals, saving more, investing, starting a side hustle, but hesitate on the execution, allowing the sheer size of the perceived task to paralyze them. Think of the moment you knew you should initiate a difficult conversation with your boss about a raise or take the first step toward learning a new high-demand skill, but found yourself endlessly delaying. This inaction, driven by an inflated fear of the unknown, directly impacts your earning power, delays your runway building, and prevents you from seizing crucial opportunities. The first thing to grasp is that courage isn't the absence of fear, but action in the face of it, even if that action is tiny. What separates consistent earners and those who successfully build their freedom blueprint from the rest is their understanding that momentum is built through micro steps, not giant leaps. Another factor that changes everything is realizing that each small action successfully completed sends a powerful signal to your brain, rewiring it for competence and confidence, steadily diminishing the power of fear. Take a moment to consider a financial goal that feels overwhelming. Where could you take one tiny, almost trivial step towards it today? One shift that accelerates progress is breaking down any daunting financial or career goal into its smallest, most non-threatening components, then tackling one. Your practical micro-action. Identify one specific financial action you've been fearing or procrastinating, no matter how small. Sending an email, researching an investment, opening a savings account, and take just one tiny step towards it today. This systematic approach to taking small actions is your most potent tool for dismantling fear and unleashing your untapped potential. Act small, conquer big. Moving from theory into practice, let's now address an undeniable truth of any ambitious journey. Setbacks will occur. This is where resilience becomes paramount. Developing resilience is absolutely crucial for long-term success and for sustaining the journey toward financial freedom. Giving up after failures, even small ones, guarantees stagnation, perpetuating burnout cycles and preventing any meaningful progress. Many professionals discover they have a low tolerance for initial setbacks, mistaking a temporary failure for a definitive end. Think of the moment you launched a new project, learned a new skill, or attempted a negotiation, and when it didn't go perfectly, you abandoned it entirely. This aversion to failure directly impacts your ability to master new market skills, overcome client acquisition friction, or maintain the momentum needed for runway building. The first thing to grasp is that failure is not the opposite of success. It is an integral part of the learning process. What separates consistent earners and those who successfully navigate career transitions from the rest is their capacity to view setbacks as data points, not as personal indictments. Another factor that changes everything is understanding that every successful person you admire has a long history of failures they leveraged for growth. Take a moment to consider a past failure you experienced. What was the core lesson it truly offered, if you look at it objectively? One shift that accelerates progress is reframing failure not as an endpoint, but as a mandatory component of mastery. Your practical micro-action. Reflect on a past professional or financial failure and identify one concrete lesson you learned from it. Then write down how you can apply that lesson moving forward. This cultivation of resilience is your unwavering fuel for conquering challenges and achieving your most ambitious goals. Embrace lessons, build fortitude. This insight naturally leads us forward to the final, indispensable component of mindset mastery: the clarity of your vision. A clearly defined, vivid vision of your financially free future is the ultimate compass, guiding all your systems and daily actions. Conversely, vague desires, no matter how heartfelt, ultimately lead nowhere, leaving you susceptible to distraction and indecision. Many professionals discover they have a general longing for more money or less work, but lack the specific details that can ignite consistent effort. Think of the moment you felt overwhelmed by the sheer number of options or tasks, unsure which direction would truly serve your deepest aspirations. This lack of clear vision directly impacts your ability to make strategic career decisions, prioritize skill stacking, or maintain the discipline required for runway building amidst budget stress. The first thing to grasp is that your brain is a goal-seeking mechanism. It needs a precise target to hit. What separates consistent earners and those who successfully build their freedom blueprint from the rest is their unwavering commitment to crystallizing what financial freedom looks and feels like for them. Another factor that changes everything is understanding that this vision acts as an internal motivator, pulling you forward even when external motivation wanes. Take a moment to notice where a lack of clarity in your personal or financial goals might be holding you back. One shift that accelerates progress is transforming abstract wishes into concrete, sensory-rich descriptions. Your practical microaction. Carve out 15 minutes today to write a vivid, detailed description of your financially free future. What does your day look like? What are you doing? Where are you? How do you feel? This act of defining your future with precision is the ultimate catalyst for conquering fear and unleashing your full potential. Define your vision, design your destiny. Chapter 9, The Wealth Protection System. Secure your assets, future-proof your freedom. Consider Maria, a diligent professional who, for years, meticulously saved and invested, building a substantial financial runway intended for her entrepreneurial leap. She was disciplined, focused on accumulation. Then, a severe car accident, completely unforeseen, left her with staggering medical bills and legal costs that far exceeded her minimal insurance coverage. Her carefully constructed runway, meant for launch, was almost entirely wiped out. Instead of pursuing her dream, she found herself forced to work even longer hours, simply to rebuild the basic foundation she had lost, trapping her in a job she longed to escape. Her dangerous optimism about "nothing bad will happen to me" became a profound setback. This narrative reveals a fundamental truth. Everyone, regardless of their diligence in wealth creation, faces unexpected risks that can decimate their hard-earned progress. The prevailing status quo often promotes a dangerous optimism, leading many to focus solely on accumulating assets while neglecting the critical defense strategies required to keep them. Many professionals discover they are so fixated on income growth or investment returns that they overlook the potential for a single catastrophic event to erase years of effort. Think of the moment an unexpected repair bill, a health crisis, or a legal challenge threatened your financial stability, diverting resources from your long-term goals. Take a moment to notice where this principle of underestimating risk might be subtly showing up in your own financial decisions. The first thing to grasp is that wealth creation is only half the equation. Wealth protection is the other, equally vital half. What separates consistent earners and those who successfully build their runway from the rest is their proactive approach to mitigating potential financial disasters. Another factor that changes everything is understanding that small, consistent investments in appropriate protection today can prevent devastating losses tomorrow, effectively future-proofing your freedom. One shift that accelerates progress is moving from a reactive stance to a preventative one regarding your financial well-being. Your immediate micro-action. Take 10 minutes to review your current insurance policies, health, auto, and home, to ensure they provide adequate coverage against major risks. Securing your assets with robust protection is not an expense. it is a strategic investment in the longevity of your financial freedom. Protect your foundation, preserve your future. Let's build directly on what we uncovered about wealth protection by focusing on its cornerstone, the emergency fund. A robust emergency fund is your primary shield, protecting you against unexpected crises and providing critical stability when the unpredictable occurs. Living paycheck to paycheck, even with a high income, is a dangerous gamble, leaving you vulnerable to financial ruin from a single unexpected event. Many professionals discover they are so focused on investing for long-term growth or paying down high-interest debt that they overlook the immediate necessity of liquid savings. Think of the moment you faced a sudden job loss, a major car repair, or an urgent medical bill without readily available cash, forcing you into high-interest credit card debt or derailing your investment plans. This lack of a safety net can instantly evaporate your hard-won financial runway and trap you in an undesirable job far longer. The first thing to grasp is that an emergency fund is not an investment. It is insurance for your financial sanity and freedom. What separates consistent earners and those who successfully navigate risky transitions from the rest is their unwavering commitment to building and maintaining this foundational buffer. Another factor that changes everything is understanding that this fund gives you crucial negotiation leverage, both with employers and in unexpected life events, because you're not desperate. Take a moment to consider the profound sense of calm and optionality that a fully funded emergency reserve provides. One shift that accelerates progress is prioritizing the emergency fund as the very first line item in your budget, before any other saving or investing. Your practical micro-action. Take 15 minutes today to calculate your essential living expenses for 3 to 6 months. This number is your initial target for a fully funded emergency fund. Establishing this critical financial buffer is not just a safeguard, it's a direct investment in your peace of mind and the flexibility to seize opportunities. Fund your freedom, fortify your future. Let's build directly on what we uncovered about the emergency fund by delving into a more advanced layer of wealth protection, the strategic structuring of your assets. Structuring your assets correctly is a sophisticated but vital method to protect them from unforeseen legal challenges, creditors, or other predatory claims. Improper structuring, often due to oversight or lack of knowledge, leaves your hard-earned wealth exposed and vulnerable, no matter how much you accumulate. Many professionals discover they diligently save and invest, accumulating significant assets, yet remain unaware of the simple legal structures that could shield their wealth from potential lawsuits or unexpected financial obligations. Think of the moment a colleague faced an unforeseen legal issue, perhaps related to a business venture or a personal dispute, and witnessed their personal assets become fair game. This lack of strategic asset protection can instantly decimate your financial runway, forcing a job escape into a desperate retreat. The first thing to grasp is that asset protection is not just for the ultra-wealthy. Basic strategies are accessible and prudent for anyone building significant wealth. What separates consistent earners and those who successfully future-proof their freedom from the rest is their proactive engagement with legal structures that provide a layer of defense. Another factor that changes everything is understanding that simple steps, like correctly titling assets or utilizing basic trust structures, can offer significant shielding. Take a moment to consider the peace of mind that comes from knowing your financial foundation is not only growing, but also legally fortified. One shift that accelerates progress is moving from simply accumulating assets to actively safeguarding them through thoughtful structuring. Your practical micro-action. Dedicate 20 minutes today to research basic asset protection strategies, such as the implications of titling assets jointly or the benefits of beneficiary designations on retirement accounts. Strategic asset structuring is an essential component of your wealth protection system, ensuring your freedom is not just built, but secured. Structure wisely, protect what's yours. This insight naturally leads us forward to another critical pillar of wealth protection: systematic estate planning. Systematic estate planning is the definitive way to preserve your wealth for your intended heirs, ensuring your legacy is handled according to your wishes, efficiently and with minimal taxation. Neglecting it, conversely, creates chaos, invites costly legal battles, and allows substantial portions of your estate to be eroded by taxes and probate fees. Many professionals discover they are so immersed in building their current financial runway and planning their job escape that they postpone or entirely ignore planning for their eventual legacy. Think of the moment a family member passed away without a will and witnessed the ensuing confusion, conflict, and financial drain on their loved ones. This lack of foresight directly undermines your lifetime efforts, creating significant budget stress for those you care about and eroding the very wealth you worked so hard to accumulate. The first thing to grasp is that estate planning is not just for the elderly or the ultra-rich. It's a fundamental component of financial responsibility for anyone with assets or dependents. What separates consistent earners and those who successfully future-proof their freedom from the rest is their proactive engagement with legal professionals to establish a clear, binding plan. Another factor that changes everything is understanding that simple documents, like a will or designating beneficiaries, can prevent enormous complications and preserve more wealth. Take a moment to consider the profound impact your foresight and planning can have on the financial well-being of those you care about most. One shift that accelerates progress is moving from a mindset of "I'll get to it someday" to treating estate planning as an urgent, non-negotiable step in your wealth protection journey. Your practical micro-action. Today, take 5 minutes to simply consider who you would want to inherit your assets, and equally important, who you would trust to make decisions on your behalf if you couldn't. Strategic estate planning is an act of profound care, ensuring your financial freedom extends beyond your lifetime. Plan your legacy, protect your loved ones. Now here's where the real shift begins in wealth protection, the absolutely critical safeguard of your digital assets in this modern age. Protecting your digital assets is as crucial as securing any physical property you own, a non-negotiable step in future-proofing your freedom. Negligence in this area is an open invitation to fraud, identity theft, and devastating financial loss. Many professionals discover they diligently protect their physical valuables and financial accounts, but overlook the easily exploited digital gateways to their entire financial life. Think of the moment you heard a story about someone losing control of their investment accounts, having their bank drained, or even their entire online business compromised due to a weak password or a phishing scam. This oversight can instantly decimate your financial runway, create immense budget stress, and force you into a recovery battle that pulls you away from high-leverage work or strategic exit planning. The first thing to grasp is that your digital footprint is now your financial frontier. It requires robust defense. What separates consistent earners and those who successfully build their freedom blueprint from the rest is their proactive implementation of digital security measures, treating them with the same gravity as any other financial investment. Another factor that changes everything is understanding that cyber threats are constantly evolving, demanding continuous vigilance and adaptation, not a one-time setup. Take a moment to consider the profound disruption and financial damage a digital security breach could inflict on your life. One shift that accelerates progress is moving from a reactive, "it won't happen to me" mindset to an empowered, "I will actively protect myself" stance. Your practical micro-action. Immediately enable two-factor authentication on all your financial accounts, email, and any platform connected to your income or investments. This systematic approach to digital security is an indispensable pillar of your wealth protection system, safeguarding your hard-earned freedom. Secure your digital, protect your destiny. Chapter 10. The Income Automation System. Create true hands-off earnings. Consider Mark, a dedicated marketing manager, tired of trading hours for dollars, dreaming of passive income. He consumed countless articles and videos promising instant passive wealth through dropshipping, crypto arbitrage, or online courses that required zero effort. He invested his precious evenings and weekends, pouring money into tools and untested strategies, hoping for that magical switch to flip. But each attempt resulted in minimal, unsustainable returns, demanding more active management than his day job. He experienced recurring budget stress from wasted investments, the bitter taste of burnout, and the disheartening realization that his dream of job escape was constantly being pushed further away because he kept chasing the mirage of effortless income rather than building a foundational system. This narrative highlights a critical misunderstanding. True income automation is not about instant, effortless wealth. It unequivocally requires upfront system building. The prevailing status quo, fueled by unrealistic marketing, often seeks quick fixes and superficial gains, leaving many professionals disillusioned. Many discover they spend significant time and money chasing opportunities that promise hands-off earnings, but deliver only frustration when the underlying systems are ignored. Think of the moment you felt tempted by a get-rich-quick scheme, only to realize it demanded more active engagement than you initially believed, hindering your ability to build genuine runway for a job escape. Take a moment to notice where you might have fallen for the allure of effortless income, only to find yourself more deeply entrenched in active work. The first thing to grasp is that automation is leverage, not laziness. What separates consistent earners and those who successfully create hands-off income streams from the rest is their patience and methodical dedication to designing robust, repeatable systems. Another factor that changes everything is understanding that initial effort in systemization pays dividends for years, freeing up your most valuable resource, your time. One shift that accelerates progress is focusing on building scalable processes first, even if it feels slower, rather than chasing quick but unsustainable returns. Your practical micro-action: list one existing or potential income stream you have and identify a single component within it that could potentially be automated with a foundational system. This systematic approach to income automation is the only sustainable path to creating true hands-off earnings and future-proofing your freedom. Build systems, buy freedom. Let's build directly on what we uncovered about the necessity of systems by focusing on a powerful strategy for automation: productizing your services. Productizing your services is a strategic move that allows for automated sales and delivery, fundamentally decoupling your income from your time. Trading time for money, while necessary initially, inherently limits your scalability, creating salary ceilings and hindering your ability to build a robust financial runway for job escape. Many professionals discover they are caught in a constant hustle of taking on more clients, working longer hours, and endlessly trying to raise their hourly rates, only to hit an income plateau. Think of the moment you felt overwhelmed by client demands, realizing your current business model required your constant, direct involvement, preventing true freedom. This direct exchange of time for money keeps you tethered to your work, making it challenging to scale your earning power or effectively plan your exit. The first thing to grasp is that your expertise, currently delivered one-on-one, can often be packaged and sold many times over. What separates consistent earners and those who successfully build truly automated income streams from the rest is their ability to identify core problems they solve and turn those solutions into scalable products. Another factor that changes everything is understanding that a productized service or digital product, once created, can generate income while you sleep, travel, or focus on higher leverage activities. Take a moment to consider how much more leveraged your time would be if you could sell your knowledge or solutions without being physically present for every transaction. One shift that accelerates progress is moving from bespoke, custom solutions for every client to identifying common challenges you solve and creating a standardized, repeatable offering. Your practical micro-action: outline a simple digital product, such as an ebook, a template, a mini course, or a toolkit that distills a piece of your expertise into a sellable asset. This strategic productization of your knowledge is a cornerstone of true income automation, transforming your expertise into scalable wealth. Productize your wisdom, multiply your impact. There's a deeper layer worth exploring as we refine your income automation system: the strategic deployment of evergreen content for lead generation. Evergreen content systematically attracts qualified leads to you, working around the clock without your active intervention. Conversely, relying solely on manual outreach for client acquisition is inherently time-consuming, unsustainable, and creates significant client acquisition friction. Many professionals discover they are caught in a constant hustle of cold calling, attending endless networking events, or tirelessly chasing referrals, which keeps them locked in a cycle of active prospecting. Think of the moment you felt utterly drained by the continuous need to hunt for new business instead of having it come to you. This constant manual effort severely limits your earning power by restricting the number of clients you can serve and drastically slows down your runway building for a job escape. The first thing to grasp is that truly automated income streams are often fueled by an audience that finds you, not the other way around. What separates consistent earners and those who successfully build their hands-off income from the rest is their dedication to creating valuable, relevant content that remains useful over time. Another factor that changes everything is understanding that each piece of evergreen content, a blog post, a video, a podcast episode, acts as a perpetual magnet, drawing in potential customers while you focus on higher leverage activities. One shift that accelerates progress is moving from a transactional sale-by-handshake approach to building a discoverable platform that educates and attracts. Your practical micro-action. Write one short social media post today that provides genuine value or insight related to your niche without asking for anything in return. Take a moment to consider the cumulative impact of having your expertise discoverable by potential clients or collaborators 24/7 without your direct involvement. This systematic approach to content creation transforms your marketing efforts into an automated engine for growth and true freedom. Content creates connection. Connection creates clients. Let's build directly on what we uncovered about evergreen content and expand our income automation system even further, specifically through the strategic promotion of others' products. Promoting other people's products through affiliate marketing is a powerful avenue for generating automated income, leveraging existing solutions without the immense time and resource commitment of creating everything yourself. Trying to build every product from scratch is slow, resource-intensive, and significantly delays your ability to build a comprehensive financial runway for job escape. Many professionals discover they have a niche audience or a platform but feel daunted by the prospect of product creation, which then creates a skill bottleneck and limits their earning potential. Think of the moment you had a recommendation for a useful tool or service, but missed the opportunity to earn a commission simply because you weren't set up as an affiliate. This missed opportunity means you're leaving money on the table, money that could otherwise be fueling your freedom. The first thing to grasp is that affiliate marketing is about recommending solutions you genuinely believe in, not merely pushing products. What separates consistent earners and those who successfully create hands-off income from the rest is their ability to identify high-quality products that truly serve their audience and align with their values. Another factor that changes everything is understanding that once you've set up your affiliate links and created content around them, they can continue to generate income for years with minimal additional effort. Take a moment to consider how many products or services you already recommend regularly without earning a share. One shift that accelerates progress is strategically integrating affiliate recommendations into your existing content or communications, always with full transparency. Your practical micro-action. Identify one product, service, or software you genuinely use and love, then spend 15 minutes to see if they have an affiliate program you can join. This strategic leverage of existing products is a smart pathway to diversifying and automating your income streams, future-proofing your freedom. Recommend with integrity. Earn with leverage. Now here's where the real shift begins in creating true hands-off earnings. The strategic implementation of subscription models. Subscription models create predictable, recurring, automated income streams, forming a stable foundation for your financial freedom. Conversely, relying solely on one-off sales for your services or products leads to inconsistent income, perpetuating budget stress and making reliable runway building nearly impossible. Many professionals discover they are caught in a constant hunt for new clients or projects, enduring the feast or famine cycle typical of transactional business models. Think of the moment you closed a significant one-off deal, felt a temporary surge of relief, but then immediately began worrying about where the next payment would come from. This instability directly undermines your earning power, restricts your ability to plan for a job escape, and keeps you bound by client acquisition friction. The first thing to grasp is that predictability in income is far more valuable than sporadic large payments when it comes to long-term financial strategy. What separates consistent earners and those who successfully build their freedom blueprint from the rest is their deliberate shift towards revenue models that prioritize stability and customer lifetime value. Another factor that changes everything is understanding that a small, consistent stream of recurring revenue provides a baseline, allowing you greater leverage in negotiation and choice over who you work with. Take a moment to consider how much more confidently you could plan for your future if a portion of your income arrived automatically each month. One shift that accelerates progress is moving from selling individual transactions to offering continuous value through a subscription. Your practical micro-action. Brainstorm a simple monthly service, membership, or content offering that you could provide based on your expertise, even if it's just a newsletter or a mini community. This strategic move towards recurring revenue models is a cornerstone of true income automation, providing the stability essential for genuine financial freedom. Build recurring, live free. Chapter 11, The Exit Strategy System. Design your ultimate freedom timeline. Consider David, a successful marketing executive in his late 40s, earning a six-figure salary, with a comfortable home and a family. By all outward measures, he was thriving. Yet, internally, he felt a growing sense of dread about the next 2 decades. The prevailing expectation was clear: work diligently until age 65, then perhaps enjoy a retirement. But David envisioned something different, a life where his time was his own, much sooner. He watched peers, equally skilled, hitting salary ceilings or succumbing to burnout, unable to conceive of an alternative path because the societal narrative of a fixed work timeline was so ingrained. This adherence to an unspoken rule was a subtle but profound barrier to him designing his true exit. This narrative reveals a powerful truth. The traditional retirement age is not a mandatory destination, it's a default, and you have the power to design your own freedom timeline. The status quo assumes a fixed work timeline, implicitly trapping many professionals in roles or careers far longer than necessary. Many professionals discover they are caught in a cycle of striving, yet rarely pause to define what enough truly means for them, delaying crucial exit planning. Think of the moment you felt a pull towards a passion project or a different lifestyle, but immediately dismissed it, believing you still had so many years left in your current grind. This mindset directly impacts your career strategy, limiting your earning power by tying you to a traditional structure rather than leveraging skills for an earlier exit. Take a moment to consider how much of your current career path is driven by societal expectation versus your personal desire for freedom. The first thing to grasp is that financial freedom is not about a specific age, but about achieving a state where your essential expenses are covered by passive income or accumulated assets, giving you ultimate choice. What separates those who achieve early freedom from the rest is their deliberate rejection of this default timeline and their active pursuit of an alternative. Another factor that changes everything is understanding that designing your exit strategy now provides a powerful North Star for all your financial and career decisions. One shift that accelerates progress is consciously uncoupling your idea of work from traditional employment and focusing on generating income on your own terms. Your immediate micro-action: take 10 minutes today to define in vivid detail what financial freedom truly means for you personally, beyond just a number. Designing your ultimate freedom timeline is not a dream, it's a strategic imperative for a life by design. Define your freedom, own your time. Let's build directly on what we uncovered about defining freedom by now focusing on the critical act of setting a specific date for its arrival. Setting a specific freedom date is not merely aspirational, it provides an indispensable direction and urgency to your entire financial and career strategy. Vague goals, no matter how noble, inherently lack the necessary urgency and concrete targets to drive consistent action, leading to perpetual delays. Many professionals discover they have a general desire for financial independence, but without a firm deadline, their daily actions remain comfortable, not optimized for an accelerated exit. Think of the moment you had a significant project at work, and without a hard deadline, tasks lingered, creating eventual budget stress and hurried, less effective execution. This lack of a clear timeline for your financial freedom means you're operating without a critical constraint, hindering your earning power and slowing your runway building. The first thing to grasp is that a deadline transforms a wish into a plan. What separates those who achieve financial freedom on their terms from the rest is their unwavering commitment to a specific target date, which then informs all their tactical decisions. Another factor that changes everything is understanding that this date doesn't have to be rigid. It's a guide, allowing you to calibrate your efforts and make necessary adjustments along the way. Take a moment to consider how much more focused your daily financial choices would become if you had a firm target for your freedom. One shift that accelerates progress is treating your freedom date as seriously as any professional project deadline, understanding its profound impact on your personal future. Your practical micro-action: pick a specific year and the age you want to achieve financial freedom. Write it down clearly and keep it visible. Establishing a concrete freedom date is the catalyst that transforms abstract desire into an actionable exit strategy. Date your freedom, dictate your destiny. Let's build directly on setting a freedom date by addressing its fundamental mathematical counterpart: accurately calculating your income replacement needs. Calculating your precise income replacement needs is absolutely crucial for any effective exit strategy. Without it, you're merely guessing. Guesswork leads to significant financial shortfalls, forcing you back into active work or compromising your desired lifestyle during freedom. Many professionals discover they have a vague idea of how much they'll need, but lack the specific numbers that can truly guide their savings and investment strategy. Think of the moment you considered a large purchase or a career change, and without clear financial projections, you felt a significant amount of budget stress or made a decision based on incomplete information. This lack of a concrete income target directly impacts your earning power by failing to define what's truly enough and sabotages your runway building efforts with ambiguity. The first thing to grasp is that financial freedom isn't just about having a large sum of money. It's about having enough consistent income to cover your desired lifestyle expenses without active labor. What separates those who achieve genuine financial freedom from the rest is their meticulous attention to defining this exact income figure. Another factor that changes everything is understanding that this figure will dictate your required savings rate, investment strategy, and the types of passive income streams you need to develop. Take a moment to consider how much more confident and targeted your financial planning would become if you knew your exact income replacement number. One shift that accelerates progress is moving from a general aspiration to a specific, data-driven financial target. Your practical micro-action: determine your desired annual income in retirement or during your financially free phase. Don't underestimate. Envision the life you truly want to live and assign a number to it. This precise calculation of your income replacement needs transforms your freedom timeline into an achievable, measurable goal. Know your number. Own your future. Moving from theory into practice, let's now focus on the crucial phase of systematically converting your accumulated assets into a sustainable income stream. Haphazard withdrawals decimate hard-earned capital, diminishing returns and jeopardizing long-term freedom. Many professionals are excellent at accumulation, saving and investing diligently, but lack a clear strategy for how to actually live off that wealth. Think of the moment someone you know had a substantial nest egg, yet panicked during a market downturn, selling off assets haphazardly and locking in losses, rather than drawing from a planned income source. This lack of an income conversion strategy can deplete your financial runway, forcing you back to work and negating years of effort towards your job escape. Your ability to maintain a desired lifestyle, free from the daily grind, hinges entirely on this structured approach. The first thing to grasp is that building wealth is one skill, but intelligently distributing it for ongoing income is an equally vital skill. What separates lasting financial freedom from stumbling is foresight in understanding various methods of drawing income from investments while preserving capital. Another factor that changes everything is recognizing that robust exit strategies include a detailed decumulation plan, accounting for market volatility, inflation, and your personal spending. Take a moment to consider the difference between simply having money and having a reliable income stream that funds your lifestyle. Your practical micro action. Dedicate 30 minutes to researching different proven methods of drawing a sustainable income from your investments, such as the 4% rule, dividend investing, or bond ladders. Mastering the systematic conversion of assets into income is the final essential bridge to truly funding your freedom and securing your future. Convert wisely, live abundantly. Now here's where the real shift begins in designing your ultimate freedom timeline, the crucial step of designing your post-freedom life itself. Achieving financial freedom is a powerful milestone, but without a clear vision for your post-freedom life, it can paradoxically lead to aimlessness, boredom, and even a profound lack of fulfillment. Lack of planning in this critical area means many professionals reach their financial goals only to discover a void, often compelling them back into work they don't truly desire, simply to feel productive. Think of the moment you observed a highly successful individual who, after a major career exit, seemed lost, grappling with an unexpected lack of purpose despite their financial security. This oversight directly impacts your overall career strategy, as the true goal isn't just to stop working, but to start living with intention, leveraging your skills for personal growth and passion projects, not out of necessity. The first thing to grasp is that financial freedom is a means, not an end. What separates those who thrive in their freedom from the rest is their deliberate, proactive design of what that freedom will actually entail, beyond just the numbers. Another factor that changes everything is understanding that this planning helps solidify your motivation during the challenging runway building phase, because you're working towards a clear, inspiring vision, not just an abstract financial figure. One shift that accelerates progress is recognizing that your most valuable asset in freedom is your time, and intentional planning ensures it's spent purposefully, not idly. Take a moment to consider how defining your post-freedom pursuits right now can fuel your drive and clarify your current financial actions. Your practical micro-action. Describe one specific non-financial activity you'd eagerly pursue once financially free, something that brings you deep joy or intellectual engagement. Designing your post-freedom life is the ultimate act of self-leadership, ensuring your hard-earned freedom is rich with meaning and purpose. Define your purpose. Unlock your potential. Chapter 12. The Wealth Amplification System. Scale your impact and your income. Consider Sarah, a highly skilled freelance designer who, despite her talent, was constantly consumed by the fear of scarcity. She underbid on projects, hesitated to raise her rates, and viewed other successful designers as direct competition, not potential collaborators. This deep-seated fear of not having enough kept her perpetually exhausted, trapped in a feast or famine cycle, and severely limited her earning potential. Instead of seeking opportunities to expand her reach or build strategic partnerships that could amplify her income, she focused intently on protecting her small, existing slice of the market, which ultimately prevented her from truly building her financial runway and escaping the daily grind she disliked. This narrative reveals a profound truth. Abundance thinking is not merely positive affirmation. It's a strategic framework that opens entirely new possibilities for scaling your impact and income. The status quo, unfortunately, often fosters a deep fear of lack, leading many professionals to operate from a scarcity mindset that inadvertently self-sabotages their growth. Many discover they are so focused on guarding what they have that they miss exponential opportunities for collaboration, leverage, and skill stacking. Think of the moment you hesitated to invest in a new skill or a strategic partnership, fearing the cost or the competition, rather than seeing the potential for amplified returns. This mindset directly impacts your earning power by restricting your willingness to take calculated risks or engage in high-leverage activities. Take a moment to identify one area where you're currently operating from a scarcity mindset. The first thing to grasp is that true wealth amplification begins with a mental shift, recognizing that resources and opportunities are abundant, not finite. What separates consistent earners and those who scale their impact from the rest is their belief in an expanding pie, fostering collaboration over cutthroat competition. Another factor that changes everything is understanding that generosity and value creation, rather than hoarding, often unlock the greatest returns and attract more opportunities. One shift that accelerates progress is consciously cultivating an abundance mindset, viewing challenges as opportunities for innovation and growth, not as threats to your limited resources. Your immediate microaction: genuinely identify one area in your career or business where you're currently operating from a scarcity mindset and challenge that belief. Embracing abundance thinking is the foundational step to systematically amplifying your wealth and scaling your lasting impact. Think big, grow bigger. This insight naturally leads us forward to the core mechanism of wealth amplification: strategic leveraging of resources to multiply your results. Leveraging resources is the fundamental strategy that allows you to multiply your results without proportionally increasing your personal effort. Continually trading time for money, while a necessary starting point, inherently limits your growth, creating salary ceilings and making a true job escape an uphill battle. Many professionals discover they are caught in a cycle of doing everything themselves, believing it's more cost-effective or ensures quality, only to find themselves perpetually overwhelmed and unable to scale. Think of the moment you felt burdened by repetitive tasks that could have been delegated, automated, or outsourced, costing you valuable time that could have been spent on higher leverage activities. This failure to leverage directly impacts your earning power by capping your output and hindering your ability to build a robust financial runway. The first thing to grasp is that leveraging isn't about cutting corners. It's about smart resource allocation: time, money, skills, or even other people's expertise. What separates consistent earners and those who scale their impact from the rest is their keen eye for opportunities to apply leverage, whether through technology, talent, or strategic partnerships. Another factor that changes everything is understanding that identifying what can be leveraged frees you to focus on your unique, high-value contributions. Take a moment to consider how much more impactful your efforts could be if you weren't personally involved in every step of a process. One shift that accelerates progress is moving from a do-it-all-yourself mentality to strategically identifying and utilizing external resources, whether they are tools, employees, or contractors. Your practical microaction: brainstorm how you could leverage a skill or asset you already possess, perhaps by teaching it in a group, creating a product from it, or outsourcing its administrative aspects. Mastering resource leverage is the key to amplifying your wealth, expanding your reach, and securing your ultimate freedom. Leverage intelligently, amplify indefinitely. Let's build directly on what we uncovered about leveraging resources by now focusing on the immense power of collaboration for synergistic growth. Collaborating with others is a potent strategy that creates synergistic growth, allowing you to reach wider audiences, combine complementary skill sets, and achieve results far beyond what solo efforts could accomplish. Solo efforts, while building foundational independence, inherently have limits on scale, requiring you to master every aspect and restricting your total earning potential. Many professionals discover they are caught in a cycle of trying to do everything themselves, fearing competition, or believing their niche is too specific for partnerships. Think of the moment you felt a bottleneck in your client acquisition, realizing that without an expanded network or a joint venture, your reach would remain limited. This lack of strategic collaboration directly impacts your income growth, slowing your runway building and limiting the scale of your impact. The first thing to grasp is that collaboration isn't about giving away your secrets. It's about expanding your sphere of influence and mutual benefit. What separates consistent earners and those who scale their impact from the rest is their proactive search for win-win partnerships that leverage diverse strengths. Another factor that changes everything is understanding that a well-executed collaboration can open doors to entirely new markets or transform a labor-intensive project into an efficiently managed shared endeavor. Take a moment to consider how a strategic partnership could instantly multiply your reach or capabilities without increasing your direct workload. One shift that accelerates progress is moving from a fiercely independent, competitive mindset to one that actively seeks out and cultivates strategic alliances. Your practical microaction. Identify one person or business in a related field, but not a direct competitor, with whom you could potentially partner for a joint project or cross-promotion. Strategic collaboration is the pathway to exponential growth, amplifying your income and expanding your impact beyond individual limitations. Collaborate to elevate, grow beyond yourself. There's a deeper layer worth exploring in wealth amplification: the strategic and systematic reinvestment of your profits. Systematically reinvesting a portion of your profits is the engine that fuels exponential growth for your income and impact. Consuming all your gains while tempting severely limits your expansion, trapping you in a linear growth trajectory and delaying your job escape. Many professionals discover they celebrate short-term wins by spending all new income, only to find themselves perpetually at the same earning plateau, unable to truly scale their business or build a robust financial runway. Think of the moment you received a bonus or a surge in client payments and immediately allocated it to discretionary spending, rather than deploying it strategically back into your skill stacking or income-generating assets. This short-sighted approach directly impacts your earning power by preventing your capital from compounding and restricting your long-term growth. The first thing to grasp is that every dollar reinvested is a seed planted for future harvest, generating passive income or expanding your reach. What separates consistent earners and those who achieve exponential growth from the rest is their disciplined habit of allocating a fixed percentage of new income back into growth-oriented areas. Another factor that changes everything is understanding that reinvestment isn't just about money. It's about investing in tools, education, marketing, or talent that will amplify your existing efforts. Take a moment to consider how consistently reinvesting could transform your growth trajectory over the next few years. One shift that accelerates progress is moving from a consumption-first mindset to a growth-first reinvestment strategy. Your practical microaction: decide a specific percentage of any new income or profit you will always, without fail, reinvest back into your business or skill development. Systematic reinvestment is the ultimate amplifier, turning today's gains into tomorrow's exponential wealth and freedom. Reinvest to compound, grow to transcend. Now here's where the real shift begins in scaling your impact and your income, focusing on solving bigger problems. Solving bigger problems fundamentally creates greater wealth and impact, naturally attracting more resources and opportunities. Conversely, focusing solely on small, localized problems, while valuable in its own right, inherently yields only small returns, limiting your income growth and the scale of your influence. Many professionals discover they are caught in a cycle of addressing minor inconveniences for a limited audience, which keeps them from truly amplifying their expertise or building a substantial financial runway for job escape. Think of the moment you felt constrained by a niche that was too narrow, realizing that its inherent market size restricted your earning ceiling. This narrow focus directly impacts your earning power by limiting the number of people you can serve and the value you can command for your solutions. The first thing to grasp is that the size of the problem you solve directly correlates with the potential size of your reward. What separates consistent earners and those who scale their impact from the rest is their ambition to tackle challenges that affect a broader population or have systemic implications. Another factor that changes everything is understanding that larger problems often command more attention, funding, and collaboration, creating exponential opportunities. Take a moment to consider how much more significant your contributions, and therefore your rewards, could be if directed towards a larger challenge. One shift that accelerates progress is moving from identifying pain points to identifying systemic issues that impact a significant group of people or an entire industry. Your practical micro-action. Identify one large societal problem you genuinely care about addressing, even if you don't yet know how you'd solve it. Focusing your energy on bigger problems is the ultimate strategy for wealth amplification, creating both profound impact and unparalleled income. Solve big, earn big, impact bigger. Chapter 13. The Next Level Legacy System. Build enduring wealth and influence. Consider John, a highly successful entrepreneur who built a formidable empire, amassing significant financial wealth by his early 50s. He achieved every monetary goal he set, yet he found himself increasingly isolated, battling chronic stress-related health issues and with strained relationships due to his relentless focus on acquisition. He realized too late that while he had indeed escaped the 9-to-5 and built an impressive financial runway, he had neglected other crucial pillars of a truly rich life. His pursuit of financial gain, prioritized above all else, led him to a form of burnout that no amount of money could fix, and he began to question the real value of his freedom. This narrative highlights a profound truth. True wealth is expansive. It encompasses not just financial gain, but also deep impact, robust health, and meaningful relationships. The status quo, unfortunately, often prioritizes only financial gain, leading many to inadvertently sacrifice other critical components of a fulfilled life. Many professionals discover they are so fixated on a singular metric of success that they neglect their well-being, their family, or their broader contribution to the world. Think of the moment you felt a pang of guilt sacrificing personal time or a health need for another hour of work, believing that financial accumulation was the sole measure of progress. This narrow definition of wealth directly impacts your career strategy, leading to an unbalanced life that even a successful job escape cannot fully rectify. Take a moment to consider how prioritizing financial gain might have overshadowed other important areas of your life recently. The first thing to grasp is that lasting legacy is built on a foundation far broader than just money. What separates those who build enduring wealth and influence from the rest is their deliberate, holistic approach to prosperity, balancing financial ambition with personal well-being and a commitment to contribution. Another factor that changes everything is understanding that a truly rich life integrates these elements, creating a virtuous cycle where each supports the others. One shift that accelerates progress is consciously moving beyond a purely monetary definition of success to embrace a multidimensional view of wealth. Your immediate micro-action. Define what holistic wealth truly means to you personally, considering impact, health, relationships, and financial well-being. Building a next-level legacy requires a comprehensive view of wealth, ensuring your enduring influence is as rich as your financial freedom. Integrate your wealth, amplify your legacy. This insight naturally leads us forward to another critical component of building enduring wealth and influence: the power of intentional giving. Intentional giving is not merely an act of charity. It's a strategic choice that creates a profound, positive legacy, extending your influence far beyond your immediate financial sphere. Reactive donations, while commendable, often lack the strategic focus and long-term impact of a well-thought-out giving plan. Many professionals discover they contribute sporadically to various causes, but without a clear vision, their generosity doesn't culminate into a recognizable, meaningful legacy. Think of the moment you wrote a check out of obligation or fleeting emotion, rather than as part of a carefully considered strategy to support a cause you deeply believe in. This haphazard approach directly impacts your career strategy by missing opportunities to align your values with your giving and limits the potential for amplified impact that comes from focused, sustained contributions. The first thing to grasp is that true legacy isn't about the amount given, but the thoughtfulness and consistency behind the giving. What separates those who build enduring influence from the rest is their proactive approach to philanthropy, aligning their resources with their deepest values. Another factor that changes everything is understanding that intentional giving can take many forms: financial contributions, mentorship, sharing expertise, or volunteering your time to causes that resonate with you. Take a moment to consider how much more impactful your giving could be if it were part of a deliberate, long-term strategy. One shift that accelerates progress is moving from an incidental approach to giving to a purposeful integration of philanthropy into your overall wealth strategy. Your practical microaction. Research one specific charity or cause that you genuinely feel passionate about supporting and learn about its mission and impact. Intentional giving is the bedrock of a next-level legacy, ensuring your wealth serves a purpose greater than personal accumulation. Give with intent, leave an imprint. Let's build directly on intentional giving by now focusing on another powerful lever for enduring influence, the act of mentoring others. Mentoring others is a profound way to extend your influence and create a lasting legacy, ensuring your hard-won knowledge and experience continue to propagate and shape future generations. Conversely, hoarding knowledge, either out of a competitive instinct or simply a lack of intention, limits collective growth and diminishes the potential reach of your impact. Many professionals discover they've accumulated invaluable market skills and insights, but without a deliberate effort to pass them on, those lessons remain confined to their own sphere. Think of the moment you yearned for guidance or wished someone had shared their journey to help you avoid a negotiation mistake or a risky transition. This failure to mentor directly impacts your career strategy by preventing you from becoming a recognized leader and limiting your long-term influence beyond your immediate contributions. The first thing to grasp is that true leaders cultivate future leaders. They don't just accumulate personal success. What separates those who build enduring influence from the rest is their generosity in sharing knowledge, offering guidance, and actively investing in the development of others. Another factor that changes everything is understanding that mentorship isn't just a selfless act. It sharpens your own thinking, clarifies your principles, and deepens your understanding of your own expertise. Take a moment to notice where this principle already shows up in your own decisions, or where you've personally benefited from mentorship. One shift that accelerates progress is moving from simply advising to actively coaching and supporting someone through their own journey. Your practical microaction. Identify one person, perhaps a junior colleague, a newer entrepreneur, or someone just starting in your field, whom you could genuinely mentor or help in their journey. Mentorship is the ultimate form of influence, turning your accumulated wisdom into a living, breathing legacy that continues to grow. Share your wisdom, multiply your impact. Moving from theory into practice, let's now address a crucial, often overlooked aspect of building enduring wealth: systematically educating your family about finances. Systematically educating your family about finances is paramount for ensuring the lasting health and growth of your wealth and for building a true multi-generational legacy. Neglecting this vital step often leads to the erosion or complete loss of accumulated assets, as subsequent generations lack the understanding or discipline to manage it effectively. Many professionals discover they are excellent at earning and investing, but they fail to adequately transfer that financial literacy to their children or other family members, leaving them ill-prepared for future stewardship. Think of the moment you heard of a family fortune squandered in a generation or two, not due to malice, but due to a profound lack of financial education and shared principles. This oversight directly impacts your long-term legacy and can undermine years of diligent work in career strategy and runway building. The first thing to grasp is that true wealth transfer is not just about assets. It's about passing on the knowledge, values, and strategies that created that wealth. What separates those who build enduring family wealth from the rest is their proactive commitment to financial education within the family unit, starting early and making it an ongoing conversation. Another factor that changes everything is understanding that this education fosters financial responsibility, promotes open communication, and helps prevent future budget stress or poor investment choices. Take a moment to consider how much more secure your financial legacy would be if your family were fully aligned and educated on your financial principles. One shift that accelerates progress is moving from avoidance or vague discussions about money to intentional, regular financial education sessions with your family. Your practical microaction. Share one important financial lesson you've learned on your journey to freedom and income growth with a family member today. Educating your family about finances is the ultimate act of legacy building, ensuring your hard-won wealth serves generations to come. Educate your legacy. Secure your future. With that foundation in place, let's now explore the ultimate form of influence and wealth: planning for generational impact. Planning for generational impact is the strategic approach that creates enduring value, ensuring your contributions continue to shape the future long after you're gone. Conversely, focusing solely on short-term gains while immediately satisfying inherently limits your legacy to your own lifetime, diminishing the true potential of your wealth and influence. Many professionals discover they've accumulated significant personal success, but without a clear vision for how that wealth can benefit future generations or society, its impact remains confined. Think of the moment you considered a quick profit from selling a business versus building a sustainable enterprise that could employ generations and contribute to a community for decades. This short-term thinking directly impacts your career strategy by encouraging decisions that prioritize immediate gratification over long-term foundational value creation, ultimately limiting the depth of your legacy. The first thing to grasp is that true enduring wealth is not just about what you accumulate, but what you cultivate and leave behind. What separates those who build lasting generational impact from the rest is their conscious effort to imbue their financial and career decisions with purpose that extends beyond their own lifespan. Another factor that changes everything is understanding that identifying the values you want your legacy to embody provides a powerful filter for all your current actions, from skill stacking to investment choices. One shift that accelerates progress is moving from personal financial freedom as the ultimate goal to seeing it as a platform for multi-generational contribution and influence. Take a moment to notice where this principle already shows up in your own decisions or where you could infuse more long-term thinking. Your practical micro-action. Take 10 minutes to write down 3 core values you want your financial legacy to embody, values that will guide your decisions for lasting impact. Planning for generational impact is the capstone of your financial journey, transforming personal success into an enduring force for good. Live your legacy, shape the future. Chapter 14, The Unstoppable Freedom System, Your Life Unconstrained. Consider Mark, a highly successful software engineer who meticulously planned his job escape. By 45, he hit his financial independence number and retired, envisioning a static state of permanent leisure, travel, and personal projects. For a few blissful years, his plan held true. But then, unexpected inflation began subtly eroding his fixed income streams, requiring more careful budgeting. More significantly, his own definition of fulfillment shifted. What once felt like ultimate freedom slowly began to feel stagnant, even restrictive, because his initial plan hadn't accounted for the evolving nature of life itself. He realized his financial freedom wasn't a destination to reach and stay, but a dynamic system requiring continuous calibration. This narrative reveals a fundamental truth. Financial freedom is not a final, static state you arrive at. It's a system of continuous optimization, demanding your ongoing engagement. The status quo often expects us to reach a fixed point, then simply maintain it, which is an outdated and limiting perspective in a rapidly changing world. Many professionals discover that even after achieving their financial goals, new market dynamics, personal aspirations, or unforeseen life events necessitate adaptation. Think of the moment when a new technology emerged, making a previously valuable skill obsolete, or when your health priorities shifted, requiring different financial allocations. This expectation of a static outcome directly impacts your long-term runway by failing to integrate adaptability into your career strategy and income growth plans. The first thing to grasp is that your definition of freedom and the resources required to maintain it will evolve over time. What separates those who sustain their freedom from the rest is their commitment to continuous learning and iterative adjustment of their financial blueprints. Another factor that changes everything is understanding that actively seeking to optimize your income streams, skill stacking, and investments ensures your freedom remains resilient against unforeseen shifts. Take a moment to consider how your aspirations and needs have changed over the past 5 years. One shift that accelerates progress is moving from a set it and forget it mentality to a review and optimize approach for your entire financial life. Your practical micro action. Take 10 minutes to reevaluate your definition of financial freedom specifically for next year, not a decade from now. Unstoppable freedom is not about reaching a destination, it's about mastering the art of continuous, joyful evolution. Optimize relentlessly, live limitlessly. Let's build directly on continuous optimization by now focusing on the deeply personal act of systematically designing your ideal day. Systematically designing your ideal day is the ultimate expression of unstoppable freedom, ensuring your newfound time and resources translate into genuine fulfillment. Unplanned living, even in the absence of a traditional job, often leads to aimlessness, missed opportunities, and a profound sense of drift, undermining the very purpose of financial independence. Many professionals discover they've achieved financial freedom, but struggle to structure their days purposefully, falling into habits of procrastination or passive consumption. Think of the moment you had an unexpected day off, and without a plan, it melted away without much meaningful accomplishment or joy. This lack of intentional design directly impacts your personal growth and the value you derive from your job escape, making your hard-won freedom feel less impactful. The first thing to grasp is that true freedom isn't the absence of structure. It's the freedom to choose your structure. What separates those who thrive in their freedom from the rest is their deliberate orchestration of their ideal day, aligning activities with their deepest values and goals. Another factor that changes everything is understanding that this daily design process clarifies what truly matters to you, informing your income growth strategies and even your skill stacking choices to support that lifestyle. Take a moment to consider how much more vibrant and purposeful your days would be if every hour was intentionally aligned with your desires. One shift that accelerates progress is moving from a reactive approach to your time to a proactive, purpose-driven daily schedule, even without external deadlines. Your practical micro-action. Describe your perfect financially free weekday, hour by hour, from morning routine to evening wind down, focusing on activities that bring you joy, growth, or contribution. Designing your ideal day is the blueprint for living an unconstrained life, ensuring every moment of your freedom is purposeful and rich. Design your day, define your life. There's a deeper layer worth exploring in maintaining your unstoppable freedom, the necessity of regularly refining your systems. Regularly refining your systems ensures ongoing effectiveness, resilience, and adaptability in your financial and personal life. Stagnant systems, however well-designed initially, inevitably become obsolete, leaving you vulnerable to market shifts, technological changes, or evolving personal needs. Many professionals discover they diligently build a system for budgeting, investing, or client acquisition, only to let it run on autopilot without regular review and adjustment, leading to inefficiencies or outright failure. Think of the moment when a once reliable spreadsheet for tracking expenses became cumbersome, or when an old marketing approach stopped yielding results. This failure to refine directly impacts your runway building by allowing inefficiencies to drain resources and can compromise your job escape plan by failing to adapt to new market skills or opportunities. The first thing to grasp is that the world is dynamic, and your systems must be too. What separates those who sustain and grow their freedom from the rest is their proactive commitment to auditing, updating, and optimizing their processes, both financial and operational. Another factor that changes everything is understanding that even minor, consistent refinements compound over time, preventing major overhauls and maintaining peak performance. Take a moment to consider any system in your life that you've set up and haven't touched in a while. One shift that accelerates progress is moving from a fix-it-when-it-breaks mentality to a continuous improvement approach for all your crucial systems. Your practical micro-action. Identify one financial system, be it your budget tracking, investment review process, or income stream management, that you can actively improve or simplify in the next month. Regular system refinement is the secret to enduring effectiveness, ensuring your path to unstoppable freedom remains clear and powerful. Refine constantly, thrive consistently. This insight naturally leads us forward to a fundamental truth of enduring fulfillment: the power of contributing to others. Contributing to others is a foundational element that maintains purpose and deep satisfaction throughout your life, especially after achieving financial freedom. Pure consumption, while offering fleeting pleasure, ultimately leads to a sense of emptiness and a profound lack of meaning, even when all material needs are met. Many professionals discover that after successfully navigating job escape and enjoying initial leisure, a deeper craving for purpose emerges. Think of the moment you observed someone who seemingly had it all, yet expressed a quiet discontent, feeling that their life, though comfortable, lacked significant impact. This pursuit of pure consumption, without an outlet for contribution, directly impacts your long-term mental well-being and can negate the satisfaction derived from effective career strategy and income growth. The first thing to grasp is that humans are wired for contribution. It's not just a nice-to-have, it's a core need for lasting happiness. What separates those who experience enduring satisfaction from the rest is their deliberate integration of giving back into their lives, whether through their skills, time, or resources. Another factor that changes everything is understanding that contribution doesn't always have to be grand gestures. Even small, consistent acts of service can profoundly impact your sense of self and community. Take a moment to consider how giving your time or expertise has brought you a deeper sense of fulfillment than simply acquiring something new. One shift that accelerates progress is moving from a self-focused pursuit of freedom to recognizing that true freedom allows you to amplify your positive impact on the world. Your practical microaction: find one small, tangible way to contribute to your community this week, utilizing a skill or simply your presence. Contributing to others is the wellspring of lasting purpose, ensuring your unstoppable freedom is rich with meaning and impact. Contribute actively, live profoundly. Moving from theory into practice, let's solidify your path to unstoppable freedom by articulating your personal freedom manifesto. Articulating your freedom manifesto is the critical step that solidifies your path, transforming abstract desires into a potent, guiding declaration. Vague aspirations, conversely, lack the power to truly motivate action, often leading to indecision when real opportunities for job escape or career pivots arise. Many professionals spend years chasing an undefined freedom, only to realize they don't know what they're actually building towards, which hinders concrete runway building and focused skill stacking. Consider a time when you had a generalized goal and how easily you drifted off course compared to when you had a precisely defined outcome. This lack of specific clarity directly impacts your earning power by making it difficult to align your efforts with a true north. The first thing to grasp is that clarity of vision acts as a powerful magnet, attracting opportunities and resources that perfectly align with your deepest desires. What separates those who achieve and sustain their unconstrained life from the rest is their unwavering commitment to a clearly defined personal future. Another factor that changes everything is that a written manifesto serves as your internal compass, guiding every decision, from which market skills to acquire to how you negotiate your value. Take a moment to consider how much more focused your efforts could be if you had a truly clear, personal definition of what you're striving for. One shift that accelerates progress is translating abstract desires into concrete, compelling statements that resonate deeply with your core values, turning wishful thinking into strategic intention. Your practical microaction: take 10 minutes to write a short personal statement, your freedom manifesto, about your unwavering commitment to your unique vision of an unconstrained life. Your freedom manifesto is the ultimate declaration of self-sovereignty, crystallizing your vision and empowering your journey forward. Declare your freedom. Define your destiny.